Biggie Smalls, power to the peoples. Biggie Smalls, power to the peoples. Biggie Small, power to the people, baby. Big Papa Day. Word. AIP to Biggie Smalls. I got my koozie on. It's old, but I got a koozie on. If you ain't got a koozie on Biggie Small Day, you shouldn't even be celebrating Biggie Small Day. All my real rights from Brooklyn know that when this Biggie Small Day every March 9th or any year, you have to throw on your koozie. You have to throw on your koozie. I mean, you got to have a few dollars too, because Big like to keep a few dollars. So we got a little couple of dollars. Not a lot of dollars, but we going to count like Big. You heard? This that dice money. I'm holding money in my hand like Big. Yo, Nippy, you gotta sit back, baby. All my dog lovers, y'all gotta tell me how to situate the dog. He went out, he ate. Hey, listen, you gotta sit back, man. It's Biggie Small Day. You gotta sit down, man. The kid is in the room. He gonna come out later. You got to chill, baby. I fed you. You gotta let me work. Okay? Go sit down, man. You gotta let me work, man. Thank you. I'm not taking no for an answer today. Sit your ass down. I'm working for Biggie Smalls, nigga. It's Biggie Smalls Day. Sit down. Okay, we got the money in our hand. It's Biggie Smalls Day. Sit down. I don't want to be disturbed. Today is the greatest rapper of all time.
Take into consideration
March 9th. You heard? I got that money in my hand like Big. You heard? Shoot the dice. Shoot the dice. Ain't no running around, Nip Doom. You gotta chill out, baby. I took you out. Everybody did good. It's my time now. It's my time now, buddy. You know what I'm saying? You wanna jerk my wreck. No more wreck jerking. Come on outside, man. It's Biggie Smalls Day. You heard? Come outside, man. It's Biggie Smalls Day. You heard? We drinking for Big. Big up to my doommates and my doomatism. You understand? We holding the bread today. It's Biggie Smalls Day. I got my koozie. I got my koozie sweater. I got mine. I got mine on right here. And doing that Biggie Small cough too. Right? I'm outside. We outside. Biggie Small Day. Biggie Smalls Day. AIP to Big Smalls, man. AIP to Big Smalls, man. I got my Coogee sweater on, my Kango hat. I'm in the place to be. I think I made it, man. I think I made it. Unfortunately, they won't give us no Biggie Smalls joint. Because Puffy got all that shit locked up. We can't get no beats from Big. I would lose a day for Big on this, but Big, I need my money. I'm going to keep it real. You all about that bread, right, son? I can't lose my bread. I can't lose my money, big. I would love to play some songs out there for you, but I can't do it. I can't do it. They would get me, big. You heard? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's MS. Peace and love. I'm beating them to the punch today. I'm beating them to the punch today, man. It's Biggie Smalls Day today. Got the Coogee sweater on. I'm hot. I'm fly. I turned the air down. We celebrating Biggie Small Day. And Biggie celebration, man. The greatest rapper to die on March 9th. That's Big Smalls. My story with Big, I don't care what stories they got. I got a nice story. I saw the nigga 4-5 times in my life. Because my man CD, that was his name, CD. He was the hustle with Big on Nostrand Avenue. So I didn't know about that until later in life. I found out that they used to hustle together and shit. And all I remember was my friend Blue, named Damien. I named my son after him. My best friend. My best friend. He called me Eminem before Eminem. He's like, yo, that's my man Eminem, kid. That's my man Eminem, kid. On Tompkins Avenue, man. Tompkins and Nostrand. N.A. Rock. Right there where Pathmark was at. I used to go hang out there all the time. Stand out there and watch Big rhyme and shit. And doing all the things that they was doing secretly. You know, making money and things like that. So my job was to be a spectator. My job was to not be a hater. My job was to get greater. So when I knew that this big, black, fat, ugly as ever, however, stayed coochie down to the socks, rings and watch filled with rocks, and my jam knocks from here to piece of TC to Mr. BC. My favorite song by Biggs is all of them. Party and Bullshit was my favorite. Then I knew he got lyrical with Who Shot You. Then he got more extra lyrical when the album came out. Ready to Die. Machine Gun Funk was my favorite album, not work. Warning with him and Lil Fame for Prospect and all that. Biggie Smalls, man. Christopher Wallace. I was the first one that made up that Christopher Wallace in college and in high school when they told us about Columbus. You know what I'm saying? Talking about some dude. What? The only we know is Wallace. I don't know about him. We don't know Christopher Columbus. I know Christopher Wallace. I don't know Christopher Columbus. You celebrate Christopher Columbus. We celebrate Christopher Wallace. I don't know Christopher Columbus. Ever since I went to high school and they said Columbus Day, I said, Christopher who? You got Christopher Columbus. Nah, niggas, Christopher Wallace. Mr. Christopher Wallace. Straight cheese, man. Straight cheese, man. Biggie Smalls, man. Nigga kept money in his hand all day long, man. It's Biggie Smalls. You saw the Coogee sweater. He counting that Fetty. That's what we doing today. Big up the MS and Ralph Doom. Ralph Doom working. Ralph Doom is out there working. He's getting so good. I'm getting tired of him. Let me say that again. Ralph Doom is out there doing so good. I'm getting tired of him. How about that? How about that? How about if I just say I'm tired of him doing good work? Because he's tiring us. I can't even keep up. Every time I turn around, he got something new. That's work. Now that's work from my boy. So it's only right that I hate that he's doing good. I hate that he's doing good because he's doing too good. He took the manuscript from Hamp Doom and ran it. I said, damn, he doing better than what the fuck I did. Big up the Ralph Doom, man. He doing so good, I'm starting to hate it. And that's a perfect hit right there. That's a perfect hit right there. That boy doing good out there. He uploading, dropping the science. He pumping no brakes. But he's paying attention to the street signs, though. He ain't pumping no brakes, though. And he got me and my man right there, MS, holding him down out there in the field. Huh? We ain't worried about that. We got his back. I'm just waiting. He got a little something over there right now, but y'all got to go over there and subscribe, like, comment, and share. Tell him, well, he gonna know who sent them. We came to work at 12:19. Rob B. Stinger think he could get fly like he did last night. He think he could get fly. He think he could get fly. Oh, let me tell you something, Rob B. Stinger. Let me tell you something right now. You coming back out at 5. You took their money and you didn't want to come back outside. Okay. I don't care about the likes. I just care about the work. I don't care about the likes. You don't have to have nothing. You heard me? Because I'm the master, man. I put this whole thing together. You understand what I'm saying to you? Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Just looking at some things. I gotta look at the thing. I got it locked up. Cocaine Bear. What's up, beloved? If this the same guy, what's up, man? You paying attention? Doomatism. I appreciate you. Here over here, we like to have fun, right? Subscribe, like, comment, and share so I can help everybody else out there. Okay? Yeah, I got my Coogee sweater on, man. I got my Coogee sweater on. Do you? I knew what time it was because I knew what today was. Okay? I knew today. I don't think nobody gonna do what we did today. They're gonna try to cop. I came out early. Of course, you're gonna get them news reporters. Of course, you're gonna get the people who's reporting. But guys like us, I don't forget what Big did for me. We put the money down. Let's get the sage up. I ain't gonna forget what Big Smalls did for me. See what Biggie Smalls did for me in real nigga time. He gave me a voice. He gave me not only that, he's from a descent of not only that he's a descent from his West Indian roots. You feel me? Not only that, he's from his West Indian roots. You heard? Not only that, but he kept it real. He kept it real with us. All right? I don't think anything Big said in his lyrics was corny. Not at all. Not at all. I think everything Big said in his lyrics was real. You understand? They're gonna nip to him right there. So what Big did for me was he taught me how to keep it real, being that there's no shook hands from Brooklyn. What else Big taught me? Oh, Big taught me that I ain't afraid to die. Because he already said he's ready to die. And then he told us that it's life after death. So Biggie taught me that I ain't afraid of death. You know what else Biggie taught me? Biggie taught me not to be afraid of success. Biggie taught me. Biggie taught me that there's no more great amount of success than to have the right amount of friends. See, Biggie taught me that. So I can have all the success in the world, but it still wouldn't add up if I ain't have Nippy, you, Ralph, Doom, MS Doom, Jesse Doom. It wouldn't be nothing if I ain't had y'all. So Biggie taught me that. What else Biggie taught me? He also taught me that blunts and yayo peel more skins than Idaho potato. Niggas know the lyrical molesting is taking place. Fucking with B.I.G. it ain't safe. I make your skin chase. Rashes on the masses, bumps and bruises, blunts and Land Cruisers. Big pop smash fools, bad fools. Niggas mad because I know the cash rules. Everything around me, 2 Glock 9s. Any motherfucker whispering about mines. And I'm Crooklyn's finest. You will be rhyming. Bad. See, the chopper. See, Biggie taught me that. And Biggie just came to me just now because I got goosebumps. Oh my Lord. Biggie it ain't cold. I got goosebumps, guys. Oh my Lord, I feel the goosebumps just singing that line of work. Oh my God, let me drink some water for Biggie Smalls. Let me drink some water for Biggie Smalls. Oh God, maybe Biggie was thirsty. MS, hold a show down. You all right? Yeah. They said you out there slipping and falling and shit. Good?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck.
What?
I'm like getting no grip on my shoe.
I know, you gotta tell me to get that.
Hey. I'm very good.
Hi, Annie. Come on, Mama. Yeah, Biggie. AIP. Mm-hmm. Biggie Smalls. Mr. Christopher Wallace is here today with Hamp Doom. Because guess what? Both of them guys, MS Doom and Biggie Smalls, so I think MS Doom was from Brooklyn. I think he was from Brooklyn. I think he was. I think he was from Brooklyn. I think he repped the Brooklyn section. But them two guys were each other's favorite rapper. See, you had MS Doom, MF Doom, who were Biggie Smalls' favorite rapper. And then you had Biggie Smalls, MF Doom's favorite rapper. So we got some ancestors here today helping me out. Now, guess what? I didn't write a lot. But me thinking about these guys today, they're going to bring out the work. They're going to bring it out. Plus, I got my Imperial Armani shades on. You know, I'm feeling real good. I'm on Biggie Small type of time. See, I would have my Versace's right now. You know what I'm saying? I would throw those on, but it ain't black enough. Only time you'll see those is when I'm outside and about. But right now, we just rocking what we rocking with. You feel me? It's Biggie Smalls Day. I want to see them bite this. I don't care what you did yesterday. I don't care what you did all last week. I don't care what you did all last month. I really don't care what you did all last year. I really don't care. I really don't care. I really don't care. I just want to know before all the other big social media platforms out there steal my shit. I want to know, did you think like this today? You didn't think like this. See, I don't care about no day you did. I don't care if you made 17,000 subscribers yesterday. I don't care if you made 45,000 views today. Yesterday. Today is Biggie Small Day. Let's see what you can do now. Let's see what you can do now. You understand? Huh? 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 We had our fun. So I'm calling on my ancestor today because after today, Biggie gonna get me that big number. I ain't worrying. Biggie gonna get me that big number. I ain't worrying. Along with my staff, I ain't worrying. Because I know what I'm doing over here. I'm laying the groundwork for the next person that come up. They're gonna be better than me, Ralph Doom. And they're gonna be the homage. I'm gonna be like graffiti to these niggas. You heard? When they come in. Mm-hmm. Biggie Doom. That's right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's right. I'm out here representing Biggie Small Day. I did it. I could have came out earlier, but I came right on time. You get the money in my hand like Biggs, like the spliff like Big, but you know what I mean? Because he rolled backwards. Niggas thought he was talking about backwards, really, rolling the blunt backwards. They didn't even know Biggie started smoking backwards. They didn't even know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, we outside. We outside. We be bullshitting, partying. Mm-hmm. 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 Let us get some beats in. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's get some beats in. All right. It's March 9th, man. Greatest rapper of all times passed away, man. Big up the Cannabis for rocking that shit, man. It took a Queens nigga to do that. And that's fucking crazy, you heard? It took a Queens nigga to say, yo, you ain't even the great. And he great. Son great. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because Cannabis says something that nobody would ever get a chance to ever think about ever saying. Like, when I heard get retarded, forget about everything else. He's fly in everything else. Even down to the shit that don't sound too good. He's fly in everything else. You heard? But when he said to be nice is to sacrifice days with no sleep. He said to be nice, I sacrifice days with no sleep. And Diddy said, you haven't written the perfect rhyme yet. You don't even know about the Genome Human Project. Get out of here. MS Doom, stop playing with me, man. Stop playing with me, man. You and Ralph Doom gonna make me cut y'all niggas off, man. Because if y'all provided my protection out here, I don't know what's going on. Somebody better tell me something before I get upset, man. I'll throw TVs and shit at y'all niggas, man. Prodigy already told me I throw a TV at you, nigga. I throw a TV at you, crazy. Listen, kid, y'all niggas better stop playing with Doom, man. If y'all dudes is close like me out here, y'all better come knock on my door, man. I'm not playing with you, man. I need to shake y'all niggas' hands, man. I need to give y'all niggas some bro hugs, man. I need to get on, pause. As old classic talk, I need to kneel, kid, and say thank you. I'm not here. I don't play, man. I don't need nothing from nobody. I get my own. Y'all see how I came up on here with the silver spoon in my mouth, right? But for real, you over here close by, I'm in Holly. You see the sign back there? I'm right down the block from Springfield. I see LP all the time. Him and Lord Nez. Large Professor. I see them all the time riding through. I just ain't got the power to push up on them and say, yo, this is a new situation going down. I'm playing MF Doom, but I'm Hamp Doom. I'm the nephew. You know what I'm saying? That's my uncle. So I'm gonna unleash some work soon, man. AIP, Biggie, and Jam Master Jay. Because Queens ain't been the same since Jam Master Jay. Word up. And Chink Drugs. And Freaky Top. You heard? And Hollywood Play. All them niggas I knew. All them niggas, man. AIP. All of them. I remember Hollywood Play. Nicki Minaj promoted them. He got murked. Haters. A lot of hate, man. A lot of hate, man. This YouTube fame is good, then it's not good. Because you try to tell people, like, yo, it's okay to acknowledge and get excited. It's okay. But I think it gets too far because Bullets Gotti, he had to take it like that last night. He had to take it because I don't think Bullets Gotti want to be having time playing with you niggas, talking about him all day, especially if it ain't in no good light or comedy way. See, I could talk about Bullets Gotti looking like Bernie Mac. I got stories already written about Bullets Gotti on how I'm going to introduce my work on him and all the dudes that support me. But this is good comedy. Like, first and foremost, Bullets going to say, what do I owe this man? And they always got to say this because it makes people think. He can probably do. With a good storyline behind it. Come on, Bullets Gotti, eat that up, man. Like, yo, that's Hamp. Plus, Hamp is an actor from Fosterson. I told Bullets Gotti my director want to speak to him anyway. So holla. Let's go. You want to go see Gravy, right? I don't want to do it no more. I'm passing it on. I tell every time I get on the bus, I go to the bus station. I say, yo, you know Ray Lou? They say, yeah, we know Ray Lou. I said, tell him one of his actors rode the bus today. They're going to describe him to me. Yo, it's a guy with a beard, with glasses. He had a dog. They're going to say, oh, he going to say, oh, that's Malik. Because he know I'm the ambassador of Fosterson. You know I'm always representing. That's why I don't worry. That's why I ain't get murdered in the scenes that I played. I did all 3 years. Knew him since childhood days. He knew my family knew him. His best friend made a baby with my cousin, so that's it right there. And he died. AIP to my man, Reese from Kingsborough. AIP to Reese, man. Reese. That's my cousin, little father. It was all short anyway, little munchkins. Yeah, they were short. They was munchkins, man. AIP to him. But that's his best friend. And his other best friend I used to play baseball with, he passed on too. I forgot son name. But yeah, we got connections. So, and back to that same area. I'm in Bed-Stuy, hanging out with my man Blue. They chilling with Big. I didn't know nothing. I don't know Big. I just knew he had a green army jacket. You know what I'm saying? He just fat, ugly, black like he said he was. You know, I just was like, yo, what's up? Big dude too. Always wore Timbs, minding his business, shooting dice, rapping on Fulton Street. The niggas used to go over there and check him out. But nighttime was like the main action. We used to go check him out. Mind you, I'm still in high school. So I ain't get the chance. This is pre-Jimmy Henchman era. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like getting ready to make the move to Jimmy Henchman. If I'd have made the move to Jimmy Henchman, I'd have called CD. I'd have called Blue. You know what I'm saying? We would have probably had Big on our team by then. But they knew Big. If I would have had the connect that I had now, I would have been with Big. Because my mans in them knew Big. They was like, yo, that's our son on the block. I think they call him Fat Chris. I think his name was Fat Chris. You know what I'm saying? It was something like that, Fat Chris. You know what I'm saying? I think the girl called him Fat Chris. Word. Yo, Fat Chris outside. Because he was a big dude. He was doing exactly what he was saying he was doing. He was getting money. He wasn't no slouch, man. He wasn't no slouch. He was getting money because I was with the niggas that was getting money. But I wasn't getting money. I was still in high school. But I used to go around them and watch them make money. And then them niggas used to piece me off. Never understood why I was getting $30 and shit. You know what I mean? I ain't understood. All that time, I was a lookout and I didn't even know. Word, I was getting $30 a night. And I was like, $30? Word. I ain't had to buy nothing either. My man bought all the food. So I started saving the money. And I think I was the rainy day. I think I was the rainy day. I think when days when shit was slow and niggas was like, yo, nothing ain't popping. At that time, that lingo was still there. So I was like my people's rainy day. Because mind you, I'm coming from high school. I didn't need nothing, right? I got money because they paying me to look out, but it's just for particular, like 2 weeks, them niggas was like fucked up or something, right? I don't know. But it still was happy. But it still was fucked up. But it was happy. Everybody was still happy. It wasn't no, we're going to go on this block and rob them. Nah. Everybody was happy. It was just slow. So what made it go fast was that I was the rainy day. I would pop up. My man Blue would be like, yo, Eminem, kid. What's up, Eminem? I'd be like, what up, baby? I'm like, what we doing? However, I think we'd get a cipher. We'd get some trees. Then I'll pull out the money. They'd be like, yo, we need some stuff. I'd be like, yo, I got it. They're like, yo, what's this? I'll pull out like maybe, no exaggeration, close to $600. My man Blue takes it. You know, he good nigga. I don't, takes it. He snatch it from me. Like, what? Where you get this from? Counting it all crazy and shit. Him and C, they just standing there. What you did? I'm like, nah, y'all remember y'all was, you know what I'm saying? I was just standing here and you kept giving me a 10. He kept giving me a 20. Y'all get drunk. I couldn't get drunk. I had to go home. My mom's was living. Plus, I'm still in high school, but I could smoke weed and I could get down on the beer. But they was drinking. I couldn't drink. I was like, oh, I can't drink. At least I could do is drink beer because I can get away with that. And I could get pee that out. It don't take that much. You know what I'm saying? My mom's was a counselor. She could smell anything. That's why I got her nose to this day. But I used to be like, all right, look, of course, old gold, 32 ounces. So I always would get 132 ounce and just sip and just smoke weed and drink water. So I know I'm tipsy. I ain't really fucked up. So man, I got all that shit. The nigga took that money from me. He counted it. The block was slow. That nigga took my money, got an 8-ball from somewhere, got the weed, got the food. Then the nigga gave me back like $150. Facts. He's like, yo, hold this, man. That's yours. I ain't saying that was my best friend. His name is Damian Reed. before Junior Reed, kid. His name Damian Reed. That nigga took $600 when I came to him, and they had a slow 3 weeks or something. And I just kept coming through. After the explosion of making the money. So it was just a day slow. That nigga took that money from me, counted that shit, him and CD. And I had it in a nice way too. You know how you hold that tight. And it was like Eminem, kid. Yo, Damon, wherever you at, man, I love you, man. Big up, man. Holla at me. I seen them the last time when my mom was alive in Bed-Stuy. He was walking with his homeboy and shit. I knew they was up to no good. So he stopped in the traffic of all that situation. I was like, yo, Damien? Blue? He was like, Malik? Eminem? I was like, yeah. And this man was like, yo, you know him? He was like, yo, that's my man. That's my man. I was like, yeah, this is my buddy. I said, Mom, this is the guy right here. She's like, Damien? I said, yeah, I named my son after him. And he was like, word? I was like, yeah, I've been meaning to tell you that, man. I named my son after you, my best friend. Never forget how you took care of me when I used to be out here in these Bed-Stuy streets. And my school was Boys and Girls High. Because I ain't had no hangout spot. The Brownsville was I couldn't hang out around them niggas. That's why they never liked me too much, because it wasn't nothing to hang around except make money. There was too much griminess going on. So I hung around Bed-Stuy. Plus I went to school in Bed-Stuy. A lot of niggas in Bed-Stuy, so I hung around Bed-Stuy. That's how I met Pat, Fabulous. These are our young years. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I know them now, but in our young years, you know, it was a lot of MC work. Of course, Black Moon, Bushwick Projects. Told you one of his friends, I gave the nigga my girl that liked him. Wasn't no hater. Wasn't gonna make nobody with like relationship tough and rough. Wasn't gonna be in no love triangle. So we all had a three date. Some shit. The girl was real. The dude was real. Me and the girl talked for a minute. We went out for a bowling date or something. Gave me closure. And then went off. And then in high school, I didn't do nothing to make no one mad at me. I didn't say, "Go look at that nigga," or "Look at that." That dude was with Black Moon. Black Moon was my favorite rap group, still to this day. So I'm out here with a guy who brings me around these dudes to display my skill, showcase my skill. You feel me? And in order to showcase my skill, this guy had a good situation with my girlfriend. Word up. I ain't even hate. I said, word. You and her like each other? Like, yeah, she told me, and she told me, kept it real. Wasn't no, see, I come from the real cloth. She didn't go behind my back. No. He asked me like a man. Yeah. It wasn't no, I didn't have no game. Or I lost my chick to a nigga. Nah, it wasn't none of that. You know what it was? And MS Doom probably could tell you what it was. You know what it was? It was I'm going to get something greater later. And I will be held in the highest regard of not being a hater. I said I was going to get something greater later. And also being held in the highest regard of not being a hater. I wasn't a hater. You feel me? Until this day, I talked to his brother. His brother said, yo, they ain't good. Everybody in good spirits. I just told him to tell Trevor Lovelace. That's his last name. That's his name. That's my man, Trev, the Lovelace family. I used to think he was with this coach named Ruth Lovelace. You heard? I thought that was his part of the family, but it wasn't. They just was Lovelace. My teacher, Miss Lovelace, she knew me. You know what I'm saying? I think I told her some stories about a family member about being with Mark Jackson. And she was like, I think she remembered a girl, my cousin, Yolanda Wilson, who used to be a high school track star, I think in Bishop Lockland or Westinghouse. One of the two where both of them met. Mark Jackson. I think Mark Jackson came from Bishop Lockland. I think he came from Bishop Lockland. But he was from Queens. You know what I'm saying? And she was a runner. I think they went to St. John's. Yeah, I think they went to St. John's. I think they met up in high school, went to St. John's. My cousin and Mark Jackson. So anyway, I kept telling the teacher about my cousin Mark, because I used to play ball. I was a good point guard till my eyes needed glasses and all that. So, you know. And then she said, yo, you wouldn't happen to have, that same woman wouldn't perhaps to have another daughter. And she went to Seton Hall and she went with another basketball player. I said, yeah, she went with another basketball player. His name was James. He used to play for Seton Hall. She's like, yeah, I know James. I used to play for Seton Hall too, women's. I said, get out of here. So we became good people. Always tried to get in her class. She started coaching the teams and stuff late. I think when I left, or was already involved with being the MC. I don't think I had no, what you call it. The only thing I remember her telling us was, she said, always wear white socks. That's what she always told us. She always said, keep on. That's where I get the idea of you wearing clean sneakers and dirty socks. I get that from her. Because we used to go to the gym. I used to be them same niggas coming to the class with all the fly sneakers. You meet them in the fucking locker room and they blowing up the locker room, even though we got a shower and shit. But they'll come in with some dirty ass socks with the clean sneakers. So I got that from my teacher, Miss Ruth Lovelace. Not to have no dirty socks and no clean sneakers. You gotta have clean socks and clean sneakers. Clean socks, period. You understand what I'm saying to you? And also, she said it makes you play better when you have clean socks. Because she used to know them niggas was bugging out. And she like, yo, did everybody take their sneakers off? Let me see what y'all wearing. She was firm with that shit. She saw what they was wearing. She said, oh, that's what it is. Y'all got to start wearing clean socks. Y'all feet stink. That's why y'all playing not good. Put on the clean socks so y'all could dance better. When them niggas put on the clean socks and throw on the sneakers, clean sneakers, they play better. Psychological fact. I seen it done. And now, you know, I ain't had that problem. I had on a pair of Michael Jordan sneakers. I couldn't wear no dirty socks with those. The fuck is wrong with me? Them shits was $125. I couldn't dare disrespect my stepfather, who was being the messenger and was going back and forth, you know what I mean? Delivering papers and shit. and bought me a pair of Jordans. I wasn't gonna disrespect him. Not Miss Evans, son. I kept it real. Tube socks, clean. Because she kept seeing the people who was playing having a different game than the guys who wasn't playing. But they fucking feet was stinking. They had on dirty socks and fucking gym sneakers, making it extra stinky. And I'm like, look at this shit, you know? So Biggie Smalls back. So my man Blue took all the money. He took the $600 from me. Gave me back $150. That night we got paid. That's how I learned about the flip. He's like, yo, I got all your money back right here. But you could take all this money and give it back to the Connect and get double money. And technically, we owe you. So you just sit back and get paid. I was like, word? He was like, yeah, just go to school, come and get your money. I trusted him. I went to school, came home. He was having all my money in my hand until I think he got locked up. And I was on my way for graduating out of high school. So I think CD got locked up first or something. I don't know what happened one night. I went to the house. They said, yo, he no longer here. He got locked up. I don't think he did anything stupid. But I believe he did because he was out there really getting that bread. CD got caught out there. So I went to his father. Father told me, moms told me, stepmoms, this woman at that time. So I'd say, all right, cool. He gone. Forget about it. You know what I mean? But he was a good dude, though. I believe if I'd have had Jimmy Henchman around that time, Biggie Smalls would have been on my team. Because Biggie Smalls knew my man Damien, who I named my son after, and my friend CD. I think his name was Chris too. I think his name was Chris, but he goes by CD. Chris Dunning, Chris something. His name was CD. Because he was the light-skinned drunk rapper. Same size as Big too. Him and Big used to clash all the time. My man CD. Word up. Because CD wasn't scared. Only thing CD needed was his E&J and his whiteout. And I was a little spectator. That's who I was. I was just standing there spectating, saying to myself, look at these two big giants. Two whales. Them niggas like whales. I said, look at these niggas rapping. One spitting, the other just spitting. I'm like, yo, this is dangerous. This was before Joey Crack and his man. Big Pun in them niggas. AIP. The Big Pun. Puerto Rican rapper. My story was Pun. But that ain't Pun Day though. It was Biggie Day. But I'll slide one in on how I met him. I was just at a little store one day. Oh, how I met him in the Bronx. I'm gonna tell y'all that story. When I was told y'all about the threesomes and shit. And I had the girl with the flower shop. I went to her crib and just walking around one day. And I realized that it was a spot that sold clothes. Like fly shit. So I walked in there and it looked like a house, but it was like a storefront. So I walked in and I think they had I think it was one of his murals, but he was alive though. And he just walked up in there. He wasn't that real big like he was. He was Big Pun. You know, that walk, I remember. He walked in. Now, who he was with, if it was Joe, I didn't pay it no mind. At that time, I wasn't even doing lyrics. I was just working. So, but I saw Pun. I said, what up to him? Capital Punishment. I think that was the album, which it is. And I was like, yo, fly work. But Biggie, the CD. See, what Biggie taught me was, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to get fly on these niggas, man. See, that's what Big taught me. Don't be afraid to get fly on you niggas, man. Don't be afraid to get fly. Word. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to get fly. That's what he taught me too. So we got the big Biggie Coogee sweater on. We chilling. You know what I'm saying? I know my man out there making his numbers, but that's yesterday's. Today is the day. We got Biggie Small day today. Okay? We on Biggie Small type of time today, man. You on that Coogee sweater, you gotta have some dollars in your hand, man. You on that type of time, man. Right? It's Biggie Small's day, man. You're supposed to be outside representing. You're not supposed to be running your mouth about nothing today. Nothing. Nothing. See? They cracking down on subway fare invaders. So that's it, man. They better stop. New York City is not playing. So, yo, get your mind right out there, man. Start getting your mind right.
More police officers, state troopers, and even National Guardsmen become visible in the subways. One specific group of officers is focusing on fare beaters in an attempt to prevent violent crimes.
Fox 5's Michelle Ross is live in downtown Brooklyn. And Michelle, you actually rode the subway with the NYPD. What are they saying about this tactic and if it's working or not?
Natasha, it is working. Last night, they made a couple of arrests, and they're waiting to see what the larger impact is. But it's not necessarily fare evasion that the NYPD is targeting. They say the people that are committing the crimes down here, most of the crimes down here aren't paying their fares. They're then going on to burden the commuters, prey on the commuters, commit violent offenses, and then go on to create lawlessness throughout the transit system. One after another after another. With the dozens of fare beaters, our cameras caught jumping the turnstile or walking through the emergency exit to avoid paying, you'd almost think the subway is free. But not paying still comes at a cost, especially for this man. What? Plainclothes officers arrest him at the Utica Avenue station after saying he had a bench warrant for a robbery in Queens in November. The NYPD is on the lookout for fare evaders because they say it prevents violent crimes from happening. The city has a bigger fish to fry when it comes to
two black people.
Fare evaders. Right. This particularly goes beyond that.
Right. As I just told the team that's going out there today, it may look like a low-level crime, and it may start out that way. But reducing the amount of people who come into the system without paying is ultimately reducing felony crime. Because these are going to be the people who are going to have guns, they're going to have knives, they're going to push people on the tracks.
They're looking for transit recidivists, those who repeatedly commit crimes in the transit system. And chances are, the NYPD says, they're not paying their fare before committing the crime.
We recover multiple firearms from engaging individuals with theft of service. On top of that, we encounter hundreds of people with active warrants.
Of the 3 people arrested Thursday night, all had warrants. Once a person jumps the turnstile, police will then look them up on their phone to see if they have a criminal history, which is happening right now, and he is being arrested. From the palm of their hands, police run the person's name through the system and are immediately notified if they're dealing with a recidivist. The NYPD says it's not looking to single out riders who can't afford to pay. This man who was nabbed was sporting a Montclair jacket and Gucci bag, a designer outfit worth a few $1,000s. But by not paying the $2.90 fare, he put himself in the spotlight. He had a warrant and was in possession of this pepper spray. Off to the precinct he went minute to get processed. Not everyone who is stopped is put in handcuffs, though.
You never know. Maybe this person is a runaway, needs help. We can offer them services. We're not looking to put those people in jail. We're looking for the recidivist.
If the person does not have a violent history and not in need of services,
So I wrote that rhyme. I wrote that rhyme to Willie. And I had asked him how to say, was it recidivism? So let's look for that rhyme. But look, hey, yo, stop jumping the turnstiles, man. I got a service dog. He's service. I got a service dog. All I'm supposed to do is tell the officer, hello, look, I got a service dog. They're supposed to let me go in. Because now I could tell them where I'm going with my service dog to get certain things done. So y'all better stop jumping the turnstiles, man. They're looking for recidivism. So you better not be a recidivism, because 9 times out of 10, you jump that turnstile, you just heard them, you're going to jail. All because you had a situation that took place back in the days. So they locked you up. They got you. they got you now. One dude had designer bag, designer clothes, and he couldn't pay $2.90. See? So I'm telling all my peoples out there, stop playing around on them trains. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you, you better stop. Because they go into those train stations that got the highest, and they're going to knock that train station down. I know what they look like. I'm watching the peoples. I know how they look. As soon as I see one of them, I'm going to call them, yo, I got a service dog. He'll say, get on the train. I don't got no warrant. I just came out the shelter 8 years ago. I shouldn't have a warrant. How the hell should I have a warrant for my arrest? Unless somebody using my fucking name. Huh? And in that case, I'm going to sue you, because if you knew I had a warrant, you should have came to my house and been got me. So why you wait till I jump the train station and tell you I got a service dog, and you check my name and say, oh, you got to go down, you got a warrant. Nah, that can't happen. I got a service dog. You got to put us in a special cell in the whole 9 yards. I can't even hear you, what you're saying anyway. I'm reading your lips. But look, what the fuck you talking about? You crazy. I've been out the shelter next week, a day before my other ancestor birthday, Sean Price, AIP. How in the hell do I have a warrant when I came out the shelter 8 years ago? The shelter didn't tell y'all niggas I had a warrant before they let me loose? Get out of here. Get out of here. Somebody lying. Somebody lying. Yo, I wrote that rhyme, recidivism. I'm going to see if I can find it. They stole my word on the news. Yeah. They stole my word on the news, y'all. That's one of my rhymes. Yep, I'm going to find it. So you better stop jumping the turnstiles, man. If you close, you better walk. You better stop jumping the turnstiles, man. Because now they changing the Metro cards so people can swipe you on and all that. So the best thing for you to do is try to change the time and get you a daggone Metro card so that you don't get in no trouble. So we said went through every system to find my doomatism. I'm self-made on God rhythm. Essential water hit them like baptism, right? My knife cutting is sacrilegious on minor business, but collected is very on high interest. But, right, let me see where that line is. Let me see where that line is. I don't think that was it. I think they stole my word. Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. Is this it? Nah, this ain't it. Hold on. I said recidivism to Wooly. Yeah, I did. It was in the doomatism work, man. I remember. Hold on. Yeah. Doomatism. All right. Check this one. Perfect. Doomatism. Biggie and Hype Williams. See? Biggie brought that out. I got it. Biggie Smalls Day. Huh? Doomatism. Biggie and Hype Williams gave the world some hypnotism. Underground jail recidivism. Yeah. I said, see that I was trying to worry about the word. Recidivism. Yeah. We said that word. Right? We said that word. Recidivism. We're looking for the recidivism. Underground jail recidivism. No way to refix him. Now that his brain dead with no wordplay or work.
Tell me about
systems. Yeah, we wrote that. We got that, y'all. I got it. They stole my word, recidivism. I said it right here. Doomatism. Biggie and Hype Williams gave the world some hypnotism. Underground recidivism. No way to refix them now that he's brain dead with no workable system. Ham Doom Tour writing was the author of Fiends Fighting. Rushed the stage like Teen Titans. No one reciting this archangel. Freak mind. Oh, we ain't finished one. They try to rob us, right? Y'all just saw that. Y'all just saw that they tried. I got him, Nip. Nip even knew. Nip even knew that they tried to rob us. Word. I was trying to get Wooly to help me with the on how to say the word. They said they're looking for receipt. What is it? What the word was? Don't be a recidivism. Yeah. So we got to get our mind around that word we was looking for. Due to the fact that they was out there fair beating and shit. Stop, man. Sit down. Relax. Recidivism. Yeah. We out here.
And even National Guardsmen become visible in the subways. One specific group of officers is focusing on fair
to the system without paying is ultimately reducing felony crime, because these are going to be people who are going to have guns, they're going to have knives, they're going to push people on the tracks.
They're looking for transit recidivists, those who repeatedly commit crimes in the transit system. And chances are, the NYPD says, they're not paying their fare before committing the crime.
We recover multiple firearms from engaging individuals with theft of service. On top of that, we encounter hundreds of people with active warrants.
Of the 3 people arrested Thursday night, all had warrants. Once a person jumps the turnstile, police will then look them up on their phone to see if they have a criminal history, subway, which is happening right now, and he is being arrested. From the palm of their hands, police run the person's name through the system and are immediately notified if they're dealing with a recidivist. The NYPD says it's not looking to single out riders who can't afford to pay. This man who was nabbed was sporting a Moncler jacket and Gucci bag, a designer outfit worth a few $1,000s. But by not paying the $2.90 fare, he put himself in the spotlight. He had a warrant and was in possession of this pepper spray. Off to the precinct he went to get processed. Not everyone
That was like my uncle. That was like my uncle that got arrested.
Can't afford to pay. This man who was nabbed was sporting a Moncler jacket and Gucci bag, a designer outfit worth a few $1,000s. But by not paying the $2.90 fare, he put himself in the spotlight. He had
I think that was my uncle.
Was sporting a Moncler jacket and Gucci bag, a designer outfit worth a few $1,000s. But by not paying the $2.90 fare, he put himself in the spotlight.
Yeah, I think that's my uncle, son. He got locked up for jumping the turnstile. That looked like him. Word up. Word up.
He had a warrant and was in possession of this pepper spray. Off to the precinct he went to get processed. Not everyone who is stopped is put in handcuffs, though.
You never know. Maybe this person is a runaway, needs help. We can offer them services. We're not looking to put those people in jail. We're looking for the recidivist.
If the person does not have a violent history and not in need of services, a civil summons is usually issued. This operation is made up of the transit response team with members of the community response team.
They are not subject to being on a fixed post at a turnstile, at a fixed post on a platform, being a slave to the radio, answering 911 jobs all day. Their main job is to be out in the system, riding trains, engaging with customers, fixed post on a platform, being a slave to the radio, answering 911.
Be a slave. Listen, he could have said something better than that.
Response team with members of the community response team.
They are not subject to being on a fixed post at a turnstile, at a fixed post on a platform, being a slave to the radio, answering 911 jobs all day.
So not be a slave to the radios, answering 911 calls all day. Slave. 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 And this is a captain. It's a Caucasian captain, a cracker, a white man saying this. Saying that they're not going to be slaves to the 911 calls. Listen, he said it.
The community response team.
They are not subject to being on a fixed post at a turnstile, at a fixed post on a platform, being a slave to the radio, answering 911 jobs all day. Their main job is to be out in the system, riding trains, engaging with customers, providing a sense of security.
And although subway crime is down, many riders still don't feel safe. So the NYPD is making sure its presence is felt.
These are exactly the type of people that we're going to take a low-level offense and use it to get violent people out of the justice system.
By carrying out these operations, they're working to improve the quality of life for New Yorkers who just want to get home safely.
That's a fact. Okay?
The MTA is using artificial intelligence to...
So you better stop. So they doing this to you. They using this. So you keep playing with AI. Yeah, keep playing with it. I don't play with AI. He ain't getting me.
MTA is using artificial intelligence to combat a $700 million fare evasion problem that could look something like this.
So that's backhawking.
The Metropolitan Transportation Authority recently disclosed that it is using AI technology that combines surveillance video with MetroCard and Omni data to help quantify how much money it's losing in unpaid subway fares. With about 16% of all subway riders skipping out on their fares, MTA Chairman Janno Lieber is defending the aggressive new approach.
With $700 million a year now being lost, this is a serious threat to the MTA.
MTA officials said they're only using the AI software to count the number of fare beaters in the system and not to identify them. But subway rider Malcolm Combs isn't convinced.
They say they are using it for that, but you never know. It changes here and there. I feel like it's a kind of a gateway if you kind of allow it.
The MTA has also said it has no plans to bring the technology over to the Long Island Railroad. But privacy advocate Albert Fox-Khan who uncovered some of the details of the MTA's AI operation, believes it's just a matter of time before similar technology will be used to keep track of LIRR riders who don't pay their fares.
Manhattan may be the epicenter of New York surveillance, but it tends to spread out. And we've seen Nassau and Suffolk police departments using many of the same surveillance tools that once were only thought to be something for the NYPD.
Although most of the MTA's fare evasion problem is on the subways and buses, it's still also very much a problem on the Long Island Railroad as well. Last year, the railroad lost $24 million to fare evasion, and the railroad says about a third of all its fares are either collected incorrectly or not collected at all.
So it's a lot of work that they doing to get you guys. Okay? This was a year ago that they had this idea. A year ago. This was a year ago. Now we here. And I told everybody, sometimes it's just best to chill.
Subway station where there's that fatal shooting yesterday for which the gunman is still on the loose. And it is one of the incidents indicative of how subway crime is up 65% this year compared with last year. Now, MTA officials tell us a massive percentage of those committing crimes below ground are entering the system by jumping the turnstile. And for that reason, targeting fare evasion is now one of the reasons, one of the things they are looking at to help reduce violent crime underground.
What we now have is virtually an invitation to beat the fare. You've probably seen people going in through the slam gates, hopping over the turnstiles. Some of them are so agile, they should be in the Joffrey.
What was once an occasional sighting has now become routine. Call it turnstile jumping or fare evasion. The MTA is calling it a criminal act that's costing them more than $500 million just this year.
So that's last year's $500 million. This year's $700 million. It's 700 this year. So they lost an extra 200 million to do this job that they doing right now, run down on you. Because last year in Jamaica, Queens, fare evasion crime took place. They just told you, and this year, that the reason why they doing it to stop this situation is because people that does it be doing violent situations. And to take a look back where the fuck they came from to get on the train, they was jumping the train. They jumped the train. They jumped the train. The people that push people on the train, they jumped the train. The people that slash and hurt people on the train, they follow where they came from before they got on that train. They realized that he was a fare beater. See, we man beaters. They fare beaters. Right? And you a woman beater. So we don't know. You wear wife beaters, right? We wear man beaters. They wear fare beaters, and you're a woman beater. There's something going down. It is somewhere down the line. We got more work to do. I got a lot more work to do.
Today, the MTA's chairman called it an epidemic of fare evasion while announcing he's establishing a special panel to figure out how to address fare evasion.
It's literally gone up dramatically. We're now at 12.5% on the subways, and 1 in 3 New Yorkers, over 30% of bus riders are not paying the fare. We're also seeing a lot of people in the bridges and tunnels who are driving, cheating by obscuring their license plates so that they don't get charged for the tolls.
The panel will be made up of a wide range of perspectives, including advocates for equity and social justice. The solutions they'll look at include enforcement and also possibly redesigning entryways and turnstiles. Transit experts point out when others don't pay, law-abiding citizens have to foot the bill.
It means more frequent and higher fare increases, and that's not good for anybody. Plus, 99%, if not more, of the people committing crimes in the system did not pay their fare. So if we stop them at the turnstile, not only have we improved the MTA's bottom line, but we stop crime in its tracks.
Crimes like this week's fatal shooting inside the subway station at Archer Avenue and Parsons Boulevard, where a 24-year-old was shot and killed at the beginning of the evening rush. While the NYPD says shootings are rare in the system, some New Yorkers are opting out.
I'm afraid sometimes I have to look everywhere. It's a very difficult time.
I see cops around, and you could say you feel a little safer, but to be 100% safe, it's impossible.
Now, there's a new wrinkle here, and you heard the MTA chairman allude to it. Now, during the pandemic, we noticed an uptick on the street of cars with their plates obscured.
They're going to get you too. Cars that get away. Cars that get away. Okay? Okay. They on their way. Because NYC subway shooting 11 days ago, right? I'm pretty sure they jumped the train. Yeah. So jumping the train causes inflations on our transit fare, right? This one here says, Hochul pushes bill to ban some riders in transit amid National Guard deployment. So this was a day ago.
Governor Hochul is now pushing for a bill that would give judges the ability to ban certain people from the subway or buses. She said that she would like to see a bill enacted in the coming weeks. Criminal Justice reporter Dean Meminger is at Union Square for us with more details on this and reaction. Dean.
Yeah, Annika, at the Union Square station right now, with a recent wave of crimes, high visibility crimes in the subway system and on buses, the mayor and governor talking about beefing up a police presence in the system. But also we heard the governor yesterday say she wants to ban people from the subway who have been convicted of assaulting other passengers, and she wants them banned for at least 3 years. She says she will be speaking to other lawmakers about getting that law on the book, but right now it's just a proposal. So we did speak with some advocates, many of them against it, saying they're not soft on crime and they want people to pay the price if they assault someone, but they believe banning people from the system will only hurt New Yorkers when it comes to safety, because they say people have to get to services. Here's Donna Lieberman.
The governor can't just ban people from the subway. That's not the way the system works. You have to have a law, a legal basis to do that, and I don't think we have that law. As a matter of public policy, it's kind of nuts to ban people from the subways, because what does it mean? It means that you can't get to see your family, perhaps. You can't get to your job, perhaps. You can't get to your doctor's appointments, or your drug treatment program, or your mental health counseling, perhaps.
Now, there are plenty of...
Well, I think she's missing the point. So you mean to tell me those are the people that was going to their place of being, did these crimes? So don't stop them from going to see their doctors, families, but they got to get back on these trains where they did the incident. So I think she's missing the point. The point was the people that did the craziness, they are the ones after they get charged and it was where the incident took place. I think that is the ban. And she's missing the point. She might be talking about fare beaters, particularly, that got warrants or something. Small shit that the guy was saying, shit like that. Don't ban them. They just jumping to go on work, whatever. But we talking about the peoples that did the stupidness. Now look at this. Now this is a day ago, right? This is a day ago. Now this is my man. New York is falling apart, right? This is what he'll say. They let him go out there and do this. Oh, we gonna work you. We ain't done. It's Biggie Small Day. I gotta get to the subways and whatnot to go to Clinton Hills and whatnot, man. They playing around out there. It's cold out there today. We came to work you.
Crime is up dramatically underground. We know that. The numbers back that up. There are now more officers underground than there have been in months.
I don't see them.
Crime
crime was 45% higher this January compared to last year.
We've got individuals roaming the subway with guns, with weapons.
I don't feel safe at all.
Crime has been at the forefront of many people's minds after several MTA workers were recently attacked.
We're not acting for much. We're acting for safety. It must be prioritized.
Officers patrolling the trains recovered 17 guns in the last month. That's triple the amount last year.
We want officers walking through the trains, being at the platforms, being near the token booth.
Mayor Adams says the subway system is averaging about 6 felonies every day.
The city is in crisis and the target is on our back.
And this past January, 1.5 people were assaulted every single day. And the MTA, who manages the subway, isn't talking about how down here, you're about as safe as you'd be in international waters, where you've got just as many rules out there as you have down here. Despite all the cameras and newfangled contraptions they're inventing to try and keep us safe. My favorite has to be the subway barriers, which won't do anything, but they do look kind of cool, and they're probably expensive. But what nobody's talking about is that while crime is skyrocketing, the city is wasting hundreds of thousands of dollars on things that are supposed to make us all safer without having to arrest anybody. We'll see if those work. But what's truly shocking is the number of weapons police are finding down here. And this should terrify all of us.
We eat. You gonna eat off of him. Yeah. Has Jordan getting money. Getting money with
Officers
cash.
patrolling the trains recovered 17 guns in the last month. That's triple the amount last year. And they made more than 250 arrests for other weapons.
That's incredibly frightening. 17 weapons is like finding one every other day. These probably aren't registered weapons that a gun owner who's law-abiding forgot accidentally. Whatever's being found down here was likely stolen, which means the people carrying them in here have already committed one crime, which makes you wonder, what other types of crime did they intend on committing with those weapons that the police luckily confiscated? But the real issue nobody's talking about down here isn't that the police are finding weapons. It's that 80% of the weapons cases result in the person getting released. And how are criminals supposed to take weapons laws seriously if there's only a 19.5% chance of them winding up in jail? The most recent data we have shows that 165 people were arrested a second time with a weapon, which means there's probably somebody in the train right now, right around here, that's been caught with a gun before and may have one now and hasn't been arrested yet. And that's not something your everyday commuter wants to think about, that's for sure. But some people think the city is lying about its crime statistics and they're actually worse than what they're portraying. So a local news network did their own investigation and what they found was shocking.
Our team of data journalists have come up with some startling statistics. There's been a 22.6% increase in subway crime, 266 incidents compared to 217 in 2023.
Okay, not only is this a massive jump in statistics, each statistic is a real person with a real story. Plus, New Yorkers are now 3 times more likely to report a felony assault than they were a decade ago. However, since not all crimes get reported, the real numbers could be even higher, which is why, as we'll soon see, the city is testing out a bunch of new pilot programs to see if they can stop crime. I'm not going to hold my breath, but the scary thing is a lot of what's happening now is just senseless and barbaric.
The same day as the knife attack in Queens, a man playing the electric cello in the mezzanine of the Hello Square station was attacked from behind by a woman who hit him on the head with a metal bottle.
Okay, a classically trained subway performer getting attacked, that should make everybody sad. That's like the treat that you rarely get on your miserable commute underground. On top of that, the woman who attacked this guy while he was playing the cello is 23 years old and has 8 prior arrests and was released without bail, which means she's still out there. And apparently the person who was attacked, it happened to them twice within 1 year, and they're also a PhD student. But it looks like society is falling apart so quickly that this is going to be something that goes the way of the dinosaur.
And police are looking for this man who on Saturday hit a 31-year-old man multiple times over the head with a metal pipe.
And then we've got another person just minding their own business, waiting to go about their day, and they just get hit in the head
Radio
with a foreign
got you on
object
TV,
randomly.
man.
It's terrifying to think that this could happen to just about anybody for no apparent reason. You're just walking through the train, trying to get to your next destination, and then wham. I remember being on the platform during an episode someone was having, as we'll call it. The person was walking around aggressively, removing their clothing and yelling at people. It was very frightening. There were no police. And at that moment, you just kind of realize that you're on your own.
What thoughts go through your mind?
It's just like if people are gonna push you.
Usually, it's not safe. I don't know what's going on in New York now.
So really, it should come as no surprise that riders are terrified, and that's having a major effect on subway ridership as a whole, because the entire system is just losing massive amounts of money as riders stay away and try to use safer transportation options that don't involve them putting their lives at risk. E-bikes, Ubers, restricting travel times to the early morning when there's not a whole lot of activity down here. 7, 8, 9. You've got to plan your commute when the criminals are most likely asleep. If you're here early, like 2, 3 a.m., oh man, I wouldn't want to be in the subway then. And look at this. In 2019, the system had 5.5 million riders per day, and now we're down to about 3.6 million, which is a lot of people, but this system is still operating and wasting money as if it were 2019, and it's not, and that's a problem. In fact, now the system is only making about half as much money as it used to, and what nobody's talking about is how the increases in crime in the subway, the city says that's their excuse for why the system is losing money, but instead of working to rectify that, they're going to have congestion pricing to tax cars and alternate means of transportation to try and force people to start paying for the subway, even though it might be dangerous, while telling us they'll improve the system after people decide to start paying for it. And although it's doubtful that will ever happen, what's almost a foregone conclusion is that things are going to get worse down here before they get better, because it's not just riders who are under attack. It's the people that run the trains as well.
So, it's the peoples that's getting attacked are the same people that's running this thing, just driving the cars, driving the cleaning up. It's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough. So, congestion pricing is what he said. Is to swindle you back into the train systems after they tax you up top to get you to come back down to start riding and getting your subway maps. It was fun back in the days. He is right. They are right. It's starting to get crazy.
NYPD officers are stationed just steps from where the transit worker was assaulted. She discovered a man sleeping beneath a blanket. She will back away and get punched repeatedly in the face.
So thankfully, the person involved in this incident is going to make a full recovery. It's a tough injury, but thank God it wasn't worse. And the attack itself happened at the Wall Street station, steps away from where the masters of the universe make money, whether things are good or whether things are bad. You'd figure they at least would have security down there, but they don't. And what's really frightening about this is not only was this a subway employee where the offenses for attacking them are increased, there were police in the station nearby, and they weren't able to do anything to protect this person until it was already too late. And the question is, why was this non-police officer the first person to check on a weird situation in the subway to see what was going on? Isn't that something that the police should be doing? I'm not hating on the police. They're overworked. There are not enough of them, but still, it's very scary. On top of that, the attacker was curled up underneath one of these benches, which had his back up against a wall. Apparently, the workers saw something strange, maybe some movement, went over to check it out, see what was going on. And that's the moment things went terribly wrong. And the question nobody wants to answer is, where was the subway's vulnerable outreach program? The city is spending $103 million on a 3-year contract with a nonprofit to reach out to those who might need help in the subway. And the goal of this is to deploy workers who interact with those who might be in a tough situation and help them understand that there are shelters that they could go to. But it doesn't really seem like it's being very effective, as we're learning today. In 2019, the Subway's Inspector General criticized the program, saying at best it offered minimal homeless outreach services. And he accused the program of turning away people who needed actual help. That audit also revealed the CEO of that nonprofit earns $400,000 a year. On top of that, city data shows that the number of homeless individuals in the subway has remained flat since this program started, which means there's no way to tell if it's doing anything.
We're not asking for much. We're asking for safety. It must be prioritized. This don't make no sense right now on what is going on to our members in this system.
But the real issue here is that as transit workers end up putting their lives at risk to take people places, we're going to end up with more incidents and less trains. And these types of issues put the entire system's integrity at risk. And without a working, reliable subway system that's safe with trains that run on time, the city is not going to be able to function, and the economy may actually decline because pretty much everybody takes it. But it's important that we go over the city's recent attempts to try and keep everybody safe, because like it or not, New York's depending on these efforts being successful, even if it looks like they probably won't work. Because at the end of the day, I think everybody down here hopes they do. have one of the few subway police stations. And if you don't see a lot of activity here, that's because they're on 12-hour shifts now patrolling all of the stations. But sadly, since there's a shortage of police, we haven't seen as many of them today as we would like. Do you think it's dangerous down here?
It is. It's just totally dangerous.
Do you think it's worse now than it was maybe a few years ago?
Yes.
Do you think that seeing more police would make people feel safer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
The mayor says part of the challenge was losing funding for its subway safety plan that flooded the system with officers in 2022. As a temporary solution, the mayor announced Tuesday that officers will begin 12-hour shifts to bolster visibility underground.
Someone went through the emergency gate, but 12-hour shifts from the NYPD. The reason there's a problem with that is because the broadcast we just listened to mentioned how the last time there was a police surge down here, it did accomplish a lot, but it was only accomplished when there was special funding for it. And that's a problem because it means the only way to clean up the subway is to get special funding in order to do it. And it also means the police force necessary to keep everybody safe is unsustainable. And it means that any past crime decreases were never anything that should have been celebrated. Because as we're learning, crime reverts to new highs after those programs, which are temporary, come to an end. The city, unfortunately, doesn't seem interested in expanding its police presence, which would be the action needed if you want to have a subway that's safe all the time, not just some of the time. Also, there are other types of crime that the police have to deal with in New York City, not just down here, but also up there in the streets. And if you pull police off the streets to put them in the subway, crime on the streets is going to get worse. So we're really just shifting around the crime that we have to different parts of town.
We want officers walking through the trains, being at the platforms, being near the token booth.
Crime has been at the forefront of many people's minds after several MTA workers were recently attacked.
So everyone wants what the mayor wants. He's a former police officer. He understands how important it is to have police, not just in the terminals, but riding the trains, monitoring the entry points to catch fare beaters. It would also be nice to see officers in a long tunnel like this. The lack of police anywhere in the system just emboldens criminals. Now, luckily, the increased patrols should end up having some effect. Yes, it will be temporary, but it should give the city time to figure out what a real solution to this whole problem is. Let's be honest, everybody down here knows what the real solution is, even if the city doesn't want to talk about it. Plus, the city's goal is to make some common sense improvements.
To improve conditions underground, the MTA is adding LED lighting. Transit officials say better lighting will help their hundreds of thousands of cameras better capture photos if crimes do occur.
So I think one of them is these lights here in this station. It's actually brighter down here than in most of the other terminals that we've visited so far. But you see the way this light is flickering? I don't know if this is actually an LED. Look at that. Maybe it is, and I just don't understand how light bulbs work. But I do understand how cameras work. And those tiny little pinhole security cameras that you see throughout, they need a lot of light if they're going to capture a good image. So this is what things look like from a high-quality camera. And then this is what things look like on the iPhone's camera. It's much smaller. It's going to be closer to what the security cameras are looking at. On top of that, a lot of the cameras down here are super old. They don't get upgraded all that often. And that's why good lighting is so important to getting a good security image. But luckily, there's another improvement they're going to start making in the subway. And once you see what it is, you're going to wonder why they didn't do it 30 years ago.
Here we go. Work. Live.
Welcome to Sherman Oak.
Live. Okay. I ride the system every day, so the only thing I worry about is I just want to see, like he said, get to my destination safe, mind my business. You know, he's right. I don't want to see nobody on the train disturbed, bugging out. You feel me? I don't want to see nobody on the train sleeping, bugging out.
So these here are the latest safety feature the city is testing out.
Subway pushings have long prompted for a search for solutions, and as New Yorkers continue getting shoved onto the tracks, one of the leading ideas has finally arrived. New barriers are in place.
So the obvious purpose of these is to keep people from winding up on the tracks. Unfortunately, incidents of people getting onto the subway tracks have risen recently. Some of it is because people are pushed. Other incidents are because the platforms are very narrow. This particular platform is extremely very narrow. In fact, we're not supposed to wait in this area because, as you can see, the train is like right there. And that's why having the barriers is a fantastic idea, because the most dangerous thing that could happen to you down here is to wind up where all the electricity is. But even though these seem incredibly solid, I don't know how effective they're going to be because, I mean, they're not everywhere. R22 door. I think they were planning to put one here, but they didn't. But definitely something is better than nothing, and I can't believe this is the first time these have ever been tried. You can see there's several on this platform over here. These will definitely keep people away from any area that doesn't lead to a train door.
Honestly, it looks like a big safety measure, a lot more protection for the kids and also for elderly people of problems as well, such as health issues.
Though that was just a guess, this passenger G was spot on with the MTA's latest initiative. The agency is breaking in the new barriers as part of a pilot program.
So I can see how these would be effective. Most pushing incidents happen suddenly and randomly, but now with these barriers, there's way less room for someone to fall onto the tracks. There's also not a lot of room here. You're definitely going to bump into somebody if you're passing each other. And to be honest with you, not only am I a fan of common sense, low-tech solutions like this, anything more expensive than a middle grade is probably not something the subway system can afford right now. Plus, they're super comfortable to lean on, which looks like it's against the rules.
A track trespassing task force nearly 2 years ago released a report detailing an increase of track trespassing incidents by 20% between 2019 and 2021, despite a dwindling ridership during that same period.
Oof, those are some alarming statistics. And it's incredible that incidents of people winding up on the tracks were up even when ridership was down. Only in New York City could a statistic like that be real. But as a subway rider during 2021, that was when I first noticed that the idea of getting shoved onto the tracks was something that we should all start being concerned about. That's when I first started hearing about it. And just think of how many incidents could be avoided at larger stations like this one if barriers were in place, especially on these insanely dangerous centerline platforms. Look at all that room right there. But the big question is, what can the city do to keep people safe in the trains? Should they hire more police, install more barriers, or should they give out free pretzels to everyone?
So this the lady that got taken down.
Noreen Mallory, a subway station agent, simply trying to do her job when she was attacked.
A man sleeping under a bench got angry as she approached. He chased her down and then punched her repeatedly.
Today, Miss Mallory is speaking for the first time about that brutal assault. Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett live this evening in Lower Manhattan, where she was attacked. NJ?
And Sandra, as you know, this is the kind of crime that worries New Yorkers most these days. A random, senseless, unprovoked attack in the transit system. Yes, this time, the victim was a 58-year-old station agent who didn't see it coming.
NYPD officers are stationed just steps from where the transit worker was assaulted. She says she saw a large object tucked beneath a bench on the platform at the Wall Street station. When she approached to get a better look, she discovered a man sleeping beneath a blanket. She will back away and get punched repeatedly in the face. Noreen Mallory suffered a fractured eye socket.
He was immediate, like he was mumbling, like I don't know what he was saying. And so I started to walk away, and I was going to, notify through our emergency system, police. And before I could do that, he got irate and started following me down and then ultimately hitting me.
She says several riders helped stop the attack, and the man was arrested. After months of steady decline, crime is suddenly surging in the subway system. So far this year, major crime is up 18%, while felony assaults are up 3%.
And we're talking about several attacks over the past few weeks, from a shooting to assaults, whether they're subway riders or they're subway workers who are underground. Take a look at this video right here at the 4-5 station from a week ago, the Wall Street station, where an agent was simply walking the platform, and in the course of her duties, Noreen Mallory attacked on the job. She tried to wake a man who had been sleeping under a bench. He came out swinging, fracturing her face, commuters restraining him until police were on the scene to make that arrest.
I can't believe it. They showing.
You see in the video is in a rage, and then he followed me down the platform.
She had a flashlight.
And punched me in my face, giving me a fracture to my eye socket.
But see, she had a flashlight in her hand. She could have whacked them. And for what I've seen, they look at a minute,
week
right?
ago, the Wall Street station, where an agent was simply walking the platform, and in the course of her duties, Noreen Mallory attacked on the job. She tried to wake a man who had been sleeping under a bench. He came out swinging, fracturing her face, commuters restraining him until police were on the scene to make that arrest.
You see in the video is in a rage.
White guy came and drove that nigga to the ground.
Platform and ultimately
it's clearly not a black dude.
Giving me a fracture to my eye socket.
It's clearly one of them immigrants.
Terrifying for that agent. And just 10 days ago, a subway rider killed in the Bronx, a gunman opening fire, injuring another 5 people. There was also an unprovoked assault caught on video as an unhinged woman was seen cracking a performing cellist in the head with a metal. Well, 3 people are in custody, wanted in connection to the murder of a man on a D train in the Bronx.
All right, it happened as the train was pulling into a station in the Fordham Heights section. Fox 5's Ashley Rodriguez joins live from the scene. Ashley, this comes as crime is spiking on the subway.
Oh, absolutely. Subway crime has shot up by 45% last month alone. Now, the NYPD says they're down there. They're arresting the bad guys. It's the city's criminal justice system that keeps letting them go.
We have more cameras than a Las Vegas casino in the system.
The NYPD.
We got more cameras than the Las Vegas casino system. Did you hear this, man?
There, they're arresting the bad guys. It's the city's criminal justice system that keeps letting them go.
We have more cameras than a Las Vegas casino in the system.
The NYPD and MTA celebrating the arrest of 3 suspects they say shot 45-year-old William Alvarez on a D train in the Bronx. They say the suspects, 24-year-old Justin Herde, 38-year-old Betty Cotto, and 42-year-old Alfredo Trinidad.
That don't sound like no black people names to me. You know, we got Johnson, Smith, you know, some Evans, you know, Washingtons, the Monroes, you know what I'm saying? The Browns, the Greens. To me, it sounds like some migrants. Those were some Hispanic names that crossed that border.
Were all clearly caught on cameras. Governor Hochul has vowed to install them on every train and platform, much to the appreciation of investigators.
Let me start by saying that January was a challenging month for us here in the Transit Bureau.
Crime was 45% higher this January compared to last year, with grand larceny being the main driver. Officers patrolling the trains recovered 17 guns in the last month. That's triple the amount last year. And they made more than 250 arrests for other weapons, a 44% increase.
We've got individuals roaming the subway with guns, with weapons. Our police officers are being assaulted.
So far this year, 7 MTA employees were assaulted. 4 people who have 50 prior arrests amongst themselves have been arrested.
50 strikes seems like a lot of strikes. And I have to say that, you know, we've got to do something to keep our people safe.
In response, Mayor Adams and NYPD Commissioner Edward Caban are deploying upwards of 1,000 officers in the subway system every day.
Tonight, 3 people arrested following a deadly confrontation in the subway. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Corey Chambers.
And I'm Shirley Chan. Now, police say surveillance cameras on the train help play a vital role in catching the 3 suspects that you see right here. Some subway riders telling Pix 11 police are not doing enough to stop crime.
Police have arrested and charged the suspects in the fatal shooting of a man on board the D train up in the Bronx.
Riella Thomas said she is live in the concourse section with the latest, including the charges these suspects face. Riella, good morning.
Yeah, Tashani and Dan, good morning to both of you. We're learning more at this hour about what actually led to the death of 45-year-old William Alvarez. It was initially thought that he was stabbed to death on that D train, but investigators say the 3 suspects and Alvarez were actually fighting, struggling over a gun when the weapon suddenly went off.
Anything you want to say?
The three
My man,
suspects
nigga.
wanted in connection with last week's
Look
deadly
at her.
attack on board a Manhattan-bound D train are in police custody. 24-year-old Justin Hurd, 38-year-old Betty Cotto, and 42-year-old Alfredo Trinidad are each charged with murder, manslaughter, and criminal possession of a weapon. Police say the suspects were picked up just before noon yesterday at an apartment in the Bronx after the fatal encounter was caught on security camera footage.
This is a homicide investigation. This is as serious as it gets.
According to the NYPD, 45-year-old William Alvarez was sitting on the train early Friday morning when Hurd, Cotto, and Trinidad got on at the Fordham Road station. One of the suspects sat down next to Alvarez and an argument broke out. The dispute turned physical with the two others joining in. At some point, a gun went off, killing Alvarez. His death marks the second fatal shooting in the transit system this month. Just 11 days earlier, one person was killed and 5 others were injured in a shooting at the Mount Eden station.
Crime was up 45% in January, driven by grand larcenies. We find ourselves arresting people, we'll call them recidivist criminals that have been arrested over and over again.
Despite those 2 deadly shootings, the city says subway crime is down by more than 17% in February. The NYPD has surged its presence on trains and platforms by up to 1,000 cops a day. Meanwhile, crime and safety were first on the agenda at yesterday's MTA committee meeting.
Here we are in 2024, and we've had 3 murders. People are being slashed. A station agent was assaulted. What is going on in your City Transit?
The real message should be to the misbehaving ridership that's out there is that we're on this. We're going to stay on it.
The MTA says there have been 6 attacks on transit workers so far this year, resulting in 4 arrests. Now, those 4 people altogether combined had a total of 49 other arrests. The suspects in this case, meanwhile, could be formally charged as early as this morning. For now, though, we're live here outside Bronx Criminal Court. Dan, back to you.
Charges could be coming.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much, Brigala.
You're right. But let's turn that around. We do need a Charles Bronson chasing these people down and getting them.
Happening today.
Because they make no sense, man. Make no sense that these peoples are doing the things that they doing on the train. I told y'all the story before. I had a very close encounter, but I had a pair of scissors. He had a ice pick though. But I knew I was gonna win because I was gonna come home alive. I was gonna come home alive. Like he probably wasn't gonna make it. But I knew some blood was gonna be spreaded out. But on some real G Live shit, man, they out there. I had my close encounter with them, man. And it was I wish I'd have filmed that time, but it was the F train. And I stopped riding them trains because that's where all the beef and everything happens at. Especially when they rise across that bridge to get to your destination. Sort of like the A train going to fucking Far Rockaway, Queens. A lot of stuff used to happen on there too. Yep. Unfortunately, I had, I just knew what time it was. I just knew what time it was. My adrenaline kicked in. I was like, oh, snap, this could be one of my days. You start thinking, like, oh, snap, you hear the stories, but am I going to be a story today? I was like, nah, not today. I'm not going to be nobody's story today. I had my scissors. I went he was trying to follow me. I said, yeah, you follow one more time. And he came, and I went back. I moved again. If he would have did any sudden move, Nippy would have already alerted me, and I just would have went on self-defense. And I'd have just would have went ham. My first thing was to get my dog. After I went ham, get my dog. Just get my dog, because he's gonna be yelling. He's gonna be jumping around. You can't touch him. You can't control him. You got to get me. Control him. You know what I mean? So I had my fair shares, and now I stay on point. I stay on point now. I stay on point now. I watch them. Because Nippy start jumping now when he sees funny shit. He start jumping. So as soon as he start jumping, I calm him down. So that gets everybody else alert that he's alert. Everybody know about Chihuahuas. They like, yo, you got a guy that's an alert dog. He's good. So that's why I tell him he's my service dog. He keeps me alert. As soon as somebody walk through the train, he barks at them. People get on the train, he don't say nothing. He chill. As soon as he see those funny people start acting stupid, Nippy start getting, his ears start perking, and I start looking to where he's looking at, like, damn. And I start reaching and looking at what I got. You know what I mean? Getting prepared. I ain't gonna get caught off guard twice with that bullshit. That shit was crazy. See? Now, this is some bullshit here. Why they don't want to expedite this man?
Calling out Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg as the reason that they won't agree to an extradition, saying that they have observed his response to other violent criminals and they're concerned that the suspect could be released on bail.
All right, Fox 5's Arthur Chen's been following these developments all day and joins us live from Lower Manhattan. Arthur, this is really an astonishing development, to put it mildly.
Steve Natasha, yeah, this is really unbelievable. The way extradition works is when a suspect is arrested in a different state, the state in which the crime was committed requests that person be sent to their state to face justice. That extradition request is granted just about every single time, which is what makes it so mind-boggling. The prosecutor in Arizona says, though, she has a very good reason, and it has to do with how the district attorney in Manhattan handles cases involving violent criminals.
We will not be agreeing to extradition.
A simple sentence, but a devastating one in the case of the murder at the Soho 54 Hotel in Lower Manhattan, where 2 weeks ago, the body of 38-year-old Queens resident Denise Oleas Arab Sibia was found in room 1109. A broken iron believed to be the murder weapon after the medical examiner determined she was killed by blunt force trauma to her head. That was 2 weeks ago. And the good news yesterday was that police in Arizona arrested the suspect in the case, 26-year-old Rod Al-Mansouri. But in an astonishing twist, Arizona officials tonight say they are refusing to extradite Al-Mansouri to New York, saying Manhattan's district attorney, Alvin Bragg, cannot be trusted.
Having observed the treatment of violent criminals in the New York area by the Manhattan DA there, Alvin Bragg, I think it's safer to keep him here and keep him in custody.
The statement comes after Bragg's controversial handling of high-profile incidents, including the release of suspects in the case of migrants assaulting NYPD officers in Times Square, even kicking one in the head.
So Alvin Bragg, you may not get elected next time, man. You wild. You letting them go out. And then I remember you was on the witch hunt for Donald Trump with Attorney General Letitia James, trying to take him down with the bull crap, you know. So this is what we are, and he's a black dude. So this is one of these guys who was picked on in school, who was nothing, you know, and all of a sudden he said he's gonna get a job doing something, and he just gonna do exactly what he said he's gonna do. Put a little bit more pressure on our necks as black folks. And he's doing this sucker shit. Listen, he let him go.
For Al-Mansouri, Arizona police say he was arrested Sunday after stabbing a female McDonald's employee multiple times. He's accused of stabbing 2 women in the Phoenix area in his most recent violent spree, and in April kidnapped and sexually assaulted a woman in Florida. But
nothing but women.
If the refusal to extradite Al-Mansouri to New York to face murder charges is rooted in the fear he could walk, some are asking why Florida set him free after he was arrested there for the kidnapping and assault. And a reporter in Arizona today asked officials there why they haven't charged him with more violent offenses.
Why wasn't an attempted homicide charge recommended in the Phoenix case? Records show the victim was stabbed in the neck, temple, and elsewhere, and he allegedly confessed to wanting to kill her.
Now, the police answer to that reporter's question is that they're not done charging him yet. He may face more serious charges, but they're still...
See, Inside Edition got it. Let's see how they word it. This is getting sick.
Coming forward to say her warnings about how dangerous this guy was were ignored.
This young woman says she tried to warn everyone about the suspected madman, now accused of launching a reign of terror across the USA, and no one would listen.
He said, "Scream and I'll kill you."
Leah Palian says she and the suspect Rad Al-Mansouri worked at a Florida restaurant. She says he attacked her when she let him sleep on her couch after a long day at work.
He starts strangling me with the utmost force. He goes straight under my throat. He knew exactly what he was doing, how to cut the airway off immediately. For some reason, he ended up letting up, and it was just like a state of shock and fear. Like, I didn't even know how to process what just happened.
Palian says the suspect was arrested, but to her shock, assault charges were dropped.
I told them verbatim, if you let him walk, he will turn into the next Ted Bundy.
And sure enough, that's what police say happened. He's now accused of killing a young woman in a room in this hotel in New York. They say he even wore the dead woman's leggings as he fled the hotel. Then he flew to Arizona, where he allegedly stabbed 2 women in separate incidents. Now Al-Mansouri finds himself at the center of a shocking tug of war between 2 states. The prosecutor in Phoenix is refusing to extradite him back to New York, at least for now, because she says the Manhattan DA is soft on crime.
It was just a couple of weeks ago that some of the illegal immigrants that were in New York City who beat up on police officers were let go. I'm putting the victims first and making sure that he stays in custody.
We have a homicide case. So there's really nothing more important than a murder case. So I would think that should take priority. We should not be talking about political grandstanding.
So what do you think about this battle? She's saying that the DA in New York has been soft on crime, and she wants to keep him in custody in Arizona.
Whatever keeps him off the streets and keeps him locked up, I think, is the best measure.
In addition to Arizona and New York, detectives are looking at...
We up against a heavy situation. We're not looking good. I'm trying to save hip hop my way.
On December 9th.
Here it is. We fighting these peoples every day. You see what they doing? We're back to AIP big. We got 400. Yeah, that's hard. They just letting them go out, do their thing. They're not saying nothing to these guys, man. They're letting them go out. They're letting them get away. You heard? And they come right back on the New York system, New York streets, and attack and hurt people. Okay? Now, this is in your spot. They in Long Island. Now, I knew Crime Dance was Crime Dance, but this is serious.
People have been arrested in connection with the dismembered body parts that have been found across Long Island.
Right now, they've been charged with hindering prosecution, tampering with evidence, and concealing a human corpse, which under New York law are not bail eligible.
All right, Fox 5's Jody Goldberg live in Central Islip. And Jody, all 4 suspects have been released without bail.
Stephen, Natasha, these bodies were allegedly mutilated before they were disposed of. Tonight, officials in Suffolk County are calling it failure on Albany's part, vowing to change the law after 4 defendants walked. All 4 suspects arrested in connection with concealing, altering, and destroying body parts before scattering them in several locations throughout Long Island walked free on Wednesday.
Damn.
Stephen Brown, Jeffrey Mackey, Amanda Wallace, and Alexis Nieves, ranging in age from 33 to 40, aren't going back to Railroad Avenue in Amityville. Where are you going? I don't know. It's uninhabitable due to damage to the plumbing after an extensive search, according to prosecutors. The 4 are charged with non-bail eligible crimes, including concealing a human corpse and tampering with evidence. In court, prosecutors say the defendants used butcher knives and meat cleavers to destroy human body parts and went through barbaric lengths to conceal it all.
He didn't have anything to do with this, and certainly didn't.
Well, that sounds like that's some mafia shit. They had knives and swords, and they was cutting body parts up in Long Island, Amityville. Now, I heard of Amityville Horrors was real. You mean to tell me that shit stemmed still in 2024? The Amity Horrorville still out there? Huh? Those are white folks. Those are white folks. Those are white folks. They got one black dude right now. We get ready to get to his story. He was on the Joe Rogan show and made the news today. But let's finish up with these.
Kill anybody. None of the defendants have been charged with murder in connection with the killings of the victims, a 53-year-old man and a 59-year-old woman, first found last week in Babylon Village. They entered not guilty pleas. Their attorneys didn't say how they knew each other or their victims.
We maintain our innocence. We look forward to receiving discovery and whatever evidence they have, and we plan on fighting it vigorously.
Criminal defense attorney Andrew Cherkasky, who is now tied to the case, calls the bail reform process an absolute disaster.
This is the problem with taking the discretion away from the judges. Every case is different. And so in one case where you have egregious sounding offenses, if it doesn't fall into just the right category in the statute, then all of a sudden there's no bail available.
Cherkasky says it's not uncommon for law enforcement to charge crimes they have evidence of first.
I think that the detectives likely were able to put the pieces of the puzzle together with regard to figuring out who is involved in that part of the crime or the movement of the bodies, and perhaps that evidence was very clear and apparent to them, whereas the evidence to actually establish arrests or the probable cause necessary for homicide or murder charges here, that may take them additional efforts, maybe some lab testing or some other types of investigative techniques.
The four were released with GPS monitoring devices and can't leave Suffolk County. They're due back in court this week, and next, prosecutors anticipate additional charges.
There go my man.
This week, are you dreaming of
This Week in Crime?
This week, a reckoning on subway safety in the city.
The subway is the lifeline of the city. If it isn't safe, the city goes down the toilet.
Plus a scam targeting seniors in Queens.
I just felt so bad that I did that.
And a gruesome mystery unfolding on Long Island. Right now, Fox 5's Crime in the City. Here are some of the crimes from across the 5 boroughs. We begin this week at Grand Central, as surging subway crime leads to big safety changes underground.
Another subway conductor has been attacked on the job. It happened in the Bronx. Police say someone hit her in the head with a glass bottle just before noon on the southbound 4 train at 170th Street. The male suspect ran away after the attack and is still on the loose. The victim is in stable condition at Lincoln Hospital. Last week, a different conductor was slashed in the neck on an A train in Brooklyn. Today's attack on that subway conductor happening just hours after Governor Hochul unveiled her plan to crack down on the rising subway violence.
All right, it includes bringing in the National Guard, who, as you see here, are already helping with bag searches at Grand Central. Fox 5 Sharon Crowley has the latest.
Members of the National Guard searched the bags of subway riders at Grand Central. It's something many New Yorkers haven't seen since right after 9/11. And this just hours after Governor Kathy Hochul made her announcement deploying the Guard, state police, and transit cops to assist the NYPD in random screenings to combat crime on the subways.
I'm here to take action.
The aggressive move to deploy the National Guard into the public transit system comes
to
after
take
a
action.
subway conductor was
AIP
stabbed in
big.
the neck last week and another rider was shoved onto the tracks. Incidents making up a rash of violent crimes underground since the start of the year.
There are crazy people on the subway, so I don't think it's a bad idea.
And just today, another MTA conductor was hit on the head with a bottle on a subway in the Bronx.
It makes it appear that New York is the nation's biggest city. Is a place where criminals are in charge and people who are trying to live there aren't.
Political consultant Hank Scheinkoff says because the state is in charge of the transit system, the governor had to do something drastic, especially since this is an election year where Republicans often portray blue cities as soft on crime.
The subway is the lifeline of the city. If it doesn't function, if it isn't safe, the city goes down the toilet with it.
Critics are already questioning how effective random bag searches will be in reducing crime, and whether doing so will damage New York City's reputation as a place Mayor Adams repeatedly calls the safest big city in America.
Well, realistically, there's over 1,000 subway entrances. Only a small number of them will have troops at them at any given time. People can refuse to be searched. People can find a different entrance. the likelihood of this actually preventing any crime is incredibly small.
So look, only thing that can help out to stop all this, let's get out of it, is that the people fight back. Okay? You help one. If you see something, you help. Okay? That's a fact. That's a fact. Okay? That's a fact. Just be strategic on how to help somebody when you're seeing injustices done. I mean, just take the city back like that. Take back your power like that. You understand? You see a belligerent person bothering somebody on the train, and they don't want to be disturbed. You yell out, "I got your back." Leave that person alone. Now, the person come over here, you don't sit down and let the nigga, you stand up and fight with him too, because he just came and helped you out, right? So we stand together. New Yorkers going to have to band together. That's it. We could take down crime. We could be our own Charles Bronsons. We could do our own thing. You see somebody getting in trouble? Hey, I'm with you. What's going on? You know, hey, you got to do it in order to get this crime to go down. Because you tired of walking in fear, ain't you? You tired. You gotta hold that money like big. You tired of walking in fear, ain't you? So in order to stop walking in fear, everybody band together. Start riding the trains with your peoples. Yeah, Carl, yo, we're going to the train. We ride out. Everybody ride the train together. Right? If a man get in trouble, you step to him. Y'all all have a style of situation. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got some the same hat. Today y'all all rock the Yankee hat today. Different color every time y'all go out. Y'all got a different Yankee hat. Y'all just rock it. Y'all know each other. So somebody see, I get on the train, I see everybody with the same color Yankee hat. That ain't the original Yankee hat. I know that some people's doing something. Yeah, facts. So that's how we're gonna get the city back. That's how we're gonna have those people stand up and fight for themselves. The police could be over there. We're gonna be policing ourselves. We doing the things we want to do to protect our wealth, protect our health. Yeah, 10 deep, but this time do 4. You and 3 other good people. That should be good enough. Because it don't be that much. I appreciate you. We'll check it out. Galatians chapter 2, verse 16. We'll check it out. We'll check it out. We'll check it out. Galatians, verse 2, chapter 16, verse 16. Yeah, we're going to check it out. We're going to check it out. You got to find out what the God says about it. You all right? You got to find out what the God says about it. You're going to go with my man.
So we're going to read verse 16 and then have a word of prayer. Galatians chapter study. We're in Galatians chapter number 2. We left off at verse 16. So we're going to read verse 16 and then have a word of prayer. Galatians chapter number 2 and verse 16, Paul says to Peter, he says, knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Jesus Christ. Even we have believed in Jesus Christ, that we might be justified by the faith of Christ, and not by the works of the law. For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified. Let's pray. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we do thank you for the Lord Jesus Christ. We do thank you for his precious shed blood on Calvary's cross, that innocent, impeccable blood,
Let's see what he said.
that washes our sins away. We thank you, Father, that by faith alone, in Christ alone, we can have that everlasting life as a free gift today in the dispensation of grace. We thank you for the faith of Christ, which we tap into as we walk by faith. And Father, that reward of the inheritance for serving the Lord Christ. So, Father, as we look into your word, may you give us great insight, understanding, and wisdom of those things. And as well, always, and most importantly, give us a greater appreciation of your Son, our Savior, the Lord Jesus. We thank you for this in Christ's name. Amen. When we talk about the faith of Christ, look at verse 16. Paul says, knowing
hit that cash
that
app.
a man. Look at the spec, start at verse 15.
Hit that cash app for that.
This is where Paul has to confront the apostle
Hit that
Peter.
cash app.
This is a wonderful passage to show Paul's authority here in the dispensation of grace. Peter, as everyone knows, was the head apostle to the nation of Israel. The Lord Jesus himself made Peter that during his earthly ministry in the 4 Gospels. Where the other apostles had to have a quorum or 2 or 3, he says, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of you, speaking of his apostles. Peter himself had had the unique privilege and honor of having the keys of that earthly kingdom, and he himself could bind and loose. And you see that in Acts chapter 8 when Peter was dealing with Simon the sorcerer. Peter was able to remit his sins, but also retain his sins, as it says in John 20. But when it comes to the dispensation of grace, the one whom God has magnified, Romans 11:13, is the Apostle Paul. And here is an example of that. Verse number 14. But when I saw that they, that's Peter, Barnabas, and the rest of those Jewish apostles and elders, walk not uprightly according to the truth of the gospel. That truth of the gospel is there is no difference today between the Jew and the Gentile in the dispensation of grace. I said unto Peter before them all, Paul's going to rebuke him in public. If thou being, by the way, by rebuke him in public, Paul is not trying to be mean to Peter. Paul wasn't a confrontational person in his, as far as his natural personality. He says with the meekness and gentleness of Christ, he would deal with the Corinthians if need be. But he says Peter already knew these things about the truth of the gospel. Paul, when he got saved, if you go back to Galatians 1, when Paul first got saved in Acts chapter 9, Paul, look at verse 16. Speaking about God calling him by his grace, Galatians 1:16, he says to reveal his son in me, speaking of the apostle, that I might preach him among the heathen. Immediately I conferred not with flesh and blood. Paul, when he got saved in Acts 9, didn't go back to any men, and particularly the apostles there at Jerusalem. He was at Damascus. Notice what happened, verse 17. Neither went I up to Jerusalem to them which were apostles before me. Okay, Paul didn't go and consult them and conference with them. But I went into Arabia, and Paul mentions Arabia in chapter 4. It's Mount Sinai in Arabia. He went to the very place that God gave the law to Moses, and God was superseding that law with the gospel of grace. And he says, I returned again unto Damascus. But what I want you to see, within 3 years of Paul's ministry, his salvation in Acts 9, he says, then after 3 years, I went up to Jerusalem to see Peter and abode with him 15 days. And at that time, I'm sure Paul was explaining to Peter the gospel of the grace of God and any revelation of the mystery that he would have received in that 3-year period. So Peter understood that there was no difference. Now, if you go to chapter 2, verse 1, let's add another 14 years. So 17 years for Paul and 14 years from his time with Peter. Look at verse 1. Galatians 2, verse 1. Then 14 years after, this is after he first saw Peter, I went up again to Jerusalem with Barnabas and took Titus with me. So he went to see Peter 3 years after his salvation. He goes 14 years later. So Peter has had that one witness there 3 years after Paul about there's no difference today. Peter then, he himself stood up for Paul. Peter had the event in Acts 10 where he speaks the gospel of the kingdom, but he mentions the death, burial, resurrection, the blood of Christ. As far as the not the blood of Christ, but he mentions what the Lord did. Okay, we now know through Paul is the blood of Christ, but he mentions Christ's death, burial, resurrection. He mentions remission of sins, Acts 10. He sees those Gentiles get saved before they are ever water baptized. So Peter now knows that there's no difference. In Acts 15, he stood up for Paul's ministry. He says he put no difference between us and them, purifying their hearts by faith. So Peter already knew what was truth about the gospel, okay? That there's no difference. So Paul is not trying to be mean. Go back to chapter 2, verse 14. He says in verse number 14, but when I saw that they walked not uprightly according to the truth of the gospel, Peter already had a witness. He knew. I said unto Peter before them all. Now, he's going to deal with Peter in public this way to show, Paul says, them that sin, rebuke before all that others may fear. Paul was asserting his authority as the apostle of grace, and he was making Peter and sample to these other circumcision apostles and elders. Verse number 14, if thou being a Jew livest after the manner of the Gentiles. Peter understood he wasn't under the restraints of that law anymore as far as his manner of life. He says in verse 14, and not as do the Jews. By the way, he was eating with those Gentiles, the very same Gentiles. In Acts 10, he says it is unlawful for us to go to another house or to even deal with a Gentile. Well, look what he says. Why compellest thou the Gentiles to live as do the Jews? Verse 15, we who are Jews by nature, we were born Jews, Paul, Peter, the rest of them, and not sinners of the Gentiles. By the way, sinners of the Gentiles, that's how the Jews referred to the Gentile, to the heathen. They call them the sinners, okay? You remember even the disdain that the Pharisees had towards the people of Israel. They would say that the Lord ate with publicans and sinners. And you think, wait a minute, they call them sinners. But it was more than just these people were living lifestyles that weren't, righteous in the eyes of the Pharisees. That was actually a derogatory term for their own brethren. They were equating them to Gentiles. Talk about sinners of the Gentiles. That's how the Jews referred to the heathen. Verse number 16, knowing, now here's what we want to see. He says to Peter, we know this, knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Jesus Christ. Now, when he talks about justified by the works of the law, when we talk about justification, we usually talk about it in reference to positional, to our position in Christ, right? You trust the Lord Jesus Christ as your Savior, and positionally, you're righteous before God. Justification means righteousness, justification means righteousness before God. Now, there's a couple of ways that we talk about it. Usually when we talk about justification, I just want to write this on the board so I can have it for you guys. It means...
Okay, that's my man. So, we're going to go to our people. Israelites, Galatians 2:16. Let's see what they say.
Getting that from YouTube.
Let's see what my man said. That's my man. He gonna tell you.
Open up, you brothers. Y'all been studying the book of Galatians. We got a lot of dummies out there, Christians and Israelites alike, who don't understand the book of Galatians. I'm going to read two scriptures. I want y'all to pay attention. You brothers in the middle, pay attention. I want two scriptures. Give me Galatians 2:16.
2:16.
Galatians 2, verse 16. This is what a dummy read to us in Jamaica for one of those dumb Israelite camps. Go ahead.
Knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Jesus Christ.
Was that the whole verse?
Even we have believed in Jesus Christ, that we might be justified by the faith of Christ, and not by the works of the law. For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified. That's the whole verse.
Now, from there, give me Romans 2:13.
Romans 2, verse 13. For not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified.
Wait a minute, I am so confused now.
Uh-oh.
The Bible contradicts itself. No, it don't. When you look at Romans 2:13, right? Read verse 13 again. Officer Leon.
For not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified.
So somebody might ask, how do you know that that's not talking about animal sacrifice? Jump down to verse 21. The chapter explains it to you. Verse 21 to 25.
Verse 21. Thou therefore which teachest another, teachest not thou not thyself? Thou that preachest a man should not steal, dost thou steal? Thou that sayest a man should not commit adultery, dost thou commit adultery? Thou that abhorrest idols, dost thou commit sacrilege? Thou that makest thy boast of the law, through breaking the law, dishonorest.
So what law is he talking about? Is he talking about the law of sacrifice in Romans 2, or is he talking about the commandments? The commandments, very good. Go to Galatians 2 now. Where we at? Galatians 2:16.
Galatians 2:16. Knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Jesus Christ. Even we have believed in Jesus Christ, that we might be justified by the faith of Christ and not by the works of the law.
So when you examine this verse, he's telling you in order to get to be justified in terms of forgiveness of sin. That's what he's talking about. So how do we get forgiveness of sin through Christ? By faith. It's based upon faith, correct? Under Moses, how do we get justified? By sacrifice. Read down.
For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified.
So the work of the law that did not justify you was sacrifice. Read.
But if, while we seek to be justified by Christ, we ourselves also are found sinners.
So what is he saying there? If you seek to be justified by Christ, and if you are found, should we be found sinners? What does sin mean? Transgression of the law, breaking God's commandments. Go ahead.
Is therefore Christ the minister of sin?
This goes back to Romans. Hold us, watch this. Give me Romans 6:1, Officer Leon.
Romans 6, verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin, that grace may abound? God forbid.
You know why that's important? Because all Christianity says grace, grace, grace. You could be an adulterer, grace. You could be a homo, grace. Grace, 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 grace. Read it again.
What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin, that grace may abound?
Should you continue breaking God's commandments, that grace may abound? Let's see what the answer is.
God forbid.
The answer is no. Go back now to Galatians. Where we at? Galatians 2:17.
Galatians 2:17. But if, while we seek to be justified by Christ, we ourselves also are found sinners. Is therefore Christ the minister of sin?
It's saying the same thing. Is Christ therefore the minister of sin? Does Christ teach you to keep breaking the commandments? What's the answer?
God forbid.
It says God forbid. That's the answer right there. So you have these idiots in Jamaica saying, yes, you don't have to keep the commandments. That's not what that was talking. The verse above was talking about animal sacrifice. You have to learn a distinction. Sometimes when Paul writes the law, he's talking about commandments. Sometimes he's talking about animal sacrifice. You have to know the distinction and the difference. Read down.
Verse 18. For if I build again the things which I destroyed, I make myself a transgressor.
So if you build again the things that you destroy, you might have been a lesbian, homosexual, adulteress, liar, thief, pedophile, monthly prognosticator, a witch, a warlock, a liar. If I build again, meaning you do it again, the things which I destroyed, meaning you got rid of those sins, I make myself a transgressor. You make yourself a sinner. That's what he's saying. Can I?
So on what the bishop was saying concerning Romans 6, the grace, Titus 2:11, real quick. You know what that is? That doctrine of that they're teaching. That's a Christian doctrine. Yep. That's Christianity with a Hebrew twist. Yep. is Christianity. Grace is supposed to teach us what? Let's read that. Titus 2:11. Titus 2 verse 11. For the grace of God that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men. That's Christ. That's the grace of God. He sent us to die for us. Read on. Teaching us that, grace is going to teach us to do what? Denying ungodliness. That's what grace is there for. To teach us to deny ungodliness. Read on. And worldly lusts. And worldly lusts. We should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world. So what is grace supposed to do? Give you the chance to learn to deny ungodliness, to stop sinning. So that doctrine you hear where the works of the Lord, we're not justified by the works of the law. The reason, and what the bishop was saying, you have to be able to distinguish. The reason why they can't distinguish, because they have not denied worldly lust. They have not denied sin. So they can't, they get tripped up in this. One more point. I want to go back to Galatians 2:16 again. I want to read something to you real quick. Galatians 2:16. This stuff is too hard for them. This is above their head. They got to understand simple things like you can't buy on the Sabbath day. If you can't understand that, then certainly you're not going to understand the writings of Paul. So where did the bishop off in Galatians 2? Verse 16 again? Yeah, let me get there with you. Go ahead. Knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Jesus Christ. Even we have believed in Jesus Christ, that we might be justified by the faith of Christ and not by the works of the law. Not by the works of the law. Hebrews 6. Watch this real quick. I'll make this quick. Hebrews 6. Remember the word works of the law, right? Hebrews 6:1. Hebrews 6 verse 1. Therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of Christ, let us go on unto perfection, not laying again that the foundation of repentance from dead works. See that word works again? Read on. And of faith toward God. Now go back up in the verse, read it from the beginning. Therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of Christ, stop that, hold this, go to Galatians, back to Galatians, where we was reading. I want you to read Galatians 3 now.
See, they're just doing your job there.
Galatians 3:24. I want you to hold those two places. We're going to flip right back and forth. Read it again. Galatians 3:24. Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Christ. Hebrews 6:1. Therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of Christ, stop. Galatians 3:24. Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Christ. Okay, why am I reading those two scriptures together? Does anybody get it? Another word, okay. What's another word for schoolmaster? In school right now, you go to school. Who's the master of the school? The principal. The Bible says the same thing over and over again.
I was going to say
so
principal.
When we read in Galatians 6:1, I mean in Hebrews 6:1, it's saying the same thing here. So let's read in Galatians now.
Workers.
Verse 24 again. Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Christ, that we might be justified by faith. So the sacrificial law was a schoolmaster that taught us that there must be a blood sacrifice. It was just a shadow of things to come that you read in Hebrews. I don't want to go through it. To lead us to understand that there must come the Messiah to die for us. Do you understand that? Now go back to Hebrews 6:1. Hebrews 6:1. Therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of Christ. What was the principal doctrines of Christ? The sacrificial of the teachers that we needed a sacrifice. Do you understand that? Read on. Let us go on unto perfection. The perfection is now through the faith that we had. I'm going to slice it real quick. Don't go to it. John 3. For God so loved the world, right? I think verse 14 where he says they raised up the serpent. Why did the serpent heal us? Was it the serpent that actually healed us? No, it was on faith that it would. Why are we made whole? Why are we forgiven? The faith that we had that Christ died for us. So I said, read that in 6:1 now. Therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of Christ, let us go unto perfection, not laying again the foundation of repentance from dead works. What was the dead works? Sacrificial law, because it could never make us perfect. The point being is if anybody's telling you that you can break God's commandments, you could be adulterer, you can rape, you can sleep with prostitutes, you don't have to keep the commandments, in so many words. That is Christianity. That's what we're trying to get away from. And these guys are feeding you Christianity. Do not be foolish. Do you understand that? This is way above their heads. Why? They have not repented to keep the commandments, and the Lord has not given them understanding.
Fact, right there.
Exactly. Get that in Peter's 3:21.
2 Peter 3, verse 15. And account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul, also according to the wisdom given unto him, have written unto you.
So Peter's letting you know, before Paul's letters went out, he read them. Peter read and checked out all Paul's letters. That's what y'all need to understand. Why? Because Peter was the chief apostle. Paul didn't run around doing things on his own. He checked with Peter first. There was an order there. Read.
As also in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood.
How do you know they was hard to be understood? Because he read them. He checked it all out before it was distributed to the various cities of Israel. Go ahead.
Which they that are unlearned.
So Peter now explains to you about Paul's hard letters. He said, those Israelites which are unlearned, go ahead.
And unstable.
And unstable, should I sin? Should I not sin? I'm not sure what I want to do. I don't know if I'm a man, I'm a woman. I'm sexually confused. Go ahead.
Rest.
Struggle. The word rest there means wrestle with or struggle with. Go ahead.
As they do also the other scriptures.
As they do the Old Testament. Go ahead.
Unto their own destruction.
And all that's to their own destruction. That's to their own destruction. Go ahead.
That's it.
Go ahead.
So, ye therefore, beloved, seeing ye know these things before, beware lest ye also.
So he says, now that you notice about Paul's letters, I've already warned you. Read it again.
Ye therefore, beloved, seeing ye know these things before, beware lest
beware. Go ahead.
Lest ye also.
Lest you too, you Israelites also, who learned in Christ, go ahead.
Being led away with the error of the wicked, fall from your own steadfastness.
So he warns Israel. He said, beware lest you too. You're going to struggle in Paul's letters. We don't got to keep the law. Hey, we can be homos. Hey! You're an idiot. We can be lesbians. What's that? LG.
Ron Savage, they got you. You going to the G-Man parade. We ain't forget about you. We ain't forget about you. Going to the G-Dance parade. And still battle rap, still disrespect you, Ron Savage. On Biggie Small Day. I ain't forget about you. You trying to pull one of my moves. And you wait till I fall back. And you did another 5 hours on us. Thinking you slick. Trying to milk the cow. I told you we like what you're doing, though. You like what you're doing, Stinger. We ain't hating on you, son. Nah. We riding for you, son. We riding for you. We just gave you Galatians 2:16, a firm breakdown. I'm starting to understand how you guys rely on grace to continue to do all your savagery. Dealing with that dude. I know his mother would not approve of what he's doing right now. He wasn't raised like that. You know he was raised in the church. You know he was raised in the church. It's kind of hard to be having that last name and running around being righteous. It was hard for him. Feel me? It was hard for Ron Savage. But he didn't know. But he knew better, though. He showed you yesterday on how he slapped on a whole bunch of squirted oil all over his body. If that ain't Vaseline Nightmares, I don't know what is. Oh, we working. You see the Watch series up there. And this one here came on Biggie Small Day. I want to see what you do today. They're going to try to steal my style. They're going to try to steal the style, baby. They can't steal it. Ron Savage, you ain't slick. You ain't slick, Ron Savage. I'm going to let you get away, baby. You ain't slick. You ain't slick. Now we're going to go to my man because I'm trolling. I'm going to give me my 5,000 subscribers. I ain't walking away. I like your slobber, though. I like your slobber. Hey, what's going on, you guys? Come on, have a seat. What's up, Nikki? Hey. Come on in. Look at you, sharp dressed man. Look at this. Yes. I'm D. Did Nikki tell you that you guys are coming up to talk to me? I'm a private investigator. No. What? Oh, she didn't tell you. Okay. Let me just kind of tell you who's in the room. I don't mean to shock you. This is Jifa. And that's my wife, Jami, behind the camera. So if you want to wave to her, you can wave to her. It's fine. So she didn't tell you why you're here? No. Okay. You can find out. Well, okay. Why he here?
Well, we've been going out lately, not just,
I didn't.
Yes, and everything. So.
I didn't catch your name. What was your name again? Because I thought it was an error. What is your name?
I'm the Great Bowante.
Yeah. Okay, so your name is
the Great Bowante. You heard me right.
The Great Bowante?
Yes.
That's like your government name, homie?
That's what is on my ID.
The Great Bowante.
You heard me right.
His name is the Great Bowante?
Yeah.
Like the Great, like that's all your whole name is just not Bowante, it's the Great.
I prefer calling me the Great Bowante.
You prefer that?
Yeah.
Is that true? But that's not your government name.
That's my name. It's up here on my ID.
Okay, all right. I don't argue with you. If your name is the Great Bowante, then let it be. Let it be. How would you like for me to address you, sir?
Call me the Great Bowante.
Okay, I'll call you the Great Bowante. I don't have a problem with that. Nikki,
yeah.
The Great Bowante, okay. She didn't tell you why you were here.
No.
Mr. Captain Crunch. I'm sorry. Mr. What was it called? The Great
I say it's a Great Bowante.
Oh, I thought he said the Great Booty Scratcher. I wasn't sure. Okay, so it's the Great Bowante. Oh, not Booty Scratcher. Okay, I got you. I'm sorry, dog. My bad. I just did not know that that's fine. And, I'm just Brownie Hunter D right there. That's Brownie Hunter D. And, I just body cast and whatever.
Can you get straight?
I will get to it. Sometimes I do get sidetracked. I get sidetracked, especially from the Great Bowante. Nikki didn't tell you why you're here.
No.
All right. I'm just going to give it to you straight. Okay? She loves you, obviously. You guys been together for a couple years?
Yes.
May I ask what you do for a living?
Me? I'm a business manager.
Oh, you're a business manager, and you work for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yes, she does.
She works for you.
Yes, she does.
Okay, you're her business manager.
She is.
I'm sorry.
You heard me right.
Okay.
I say I'm the business manager. That's me. She's my assistant manager.
Okay.
What part did you get?
Oh, I don't want to make you upset, sir.
No, you did make fun of his name, call him a booty scratcher. I mean,
because I thought he was messing with me with his name, though. You know how people come here and mess with me.
What's going on?
He saw his ID. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I haven't seen his ID. Now you arguing with me, Chief. I haven't seen the guy's ID. He says his name is the Great Bowante.
And
then he said she worked for him, and he come in here with that. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. Okay, listen. I'm just praying. That's what I do. I'm a very nosy private investigator. I'm very nosy. I get paid to be nosy, right? That's why she hired me, because I'm good at what I do, and I get paid to get nosy. And the reason why you're here, the Great Bowante, is that she feels that you're cheating on her. And she brought you in here to take a lie detector test and for me to film it. So there you go, the Great Bowante. What?
No, come back. Come on. You want to take the test, really? I can't believe this. We've been together for so many years.
Yes, for so many years. You can't simply take a test.
You think I'm cheating on you?
Okay, but you can't just take the test for once.
Babe,
prove something to me.
You know I love you, babe. You know that.
To me.
How will you do this to me, babe?
Bawante, the great Bawante. Are you cheating on her?
You got him.
Let me talk to my wife first. Please, let me talk to my babe first. Babe, seriously?
You've been out late. I've been smelling perfume and everything on you.
He's Rob B. Stinger people. He's sending everybody out. I told y'all yesterday. I'm throwing the kitchen sink, toilet, everything going.
Okay,
Shower curtain.
You changing your password on your phone
because of my work.
How come she doesn't have the password, Bawante?
Why do I have to answer you, sir?
Because she made this my business.
It's everything I told him.
She made it my business. Actually, she talked to my wife about it.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. I feel like I'm dreaming.
Are you gonna take the test or not, man?
You know what? Let's get rid of this.
You wanna do it? Okay, and I can film. Go ahead, go for it. I can film. Okay, all right.
You want your jacket or no? You know what?
No, just sit it right here. I'll put it right here. Just put it right here.
You can go with me, man. What's your name? This is Lee?
This is Nikki.
Nikki, okay. All right.
Okay, the great Bawante. Have you ever taken a lie detector test before?
No. What for?
Okay. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. All I want you to do is answer yes or no. Nothing else besides yes or no, and always look forward. Okay. My wife is just let me finish. I'm trying to explain it to you. My wife is going to read your body language, and right now she pointed out that you need to uncross your legs for me, please. My wife is going to read your body language, and Jifa's going to read your body language. Okay. And just relax. I'm going to ask you some questions. Yes or no only. Okay. You let me know when you're ready to begin.
Go ahead.
Let's get it. First question. Is your name Booty Scratcher?
Oh, no.
Is your name Bawante?
Yes, that's my name.
Okay.
Great Bawante.
Okay, so we're going to do it again. Sir, I just need you to answer yes or no. Is your name Bawante?
Yes.
Is your name the Great Bawante?
Yes, that's my name.
Okay, I'm going to ask you that again. All I need is a yes or no, sir. Is your name the Great Bawante?
Yes.
Is your girlfriend's name Nikki?
Yes.
Do you love Nikki?
Yes.
Are you having a bad hair day?
No.
Have you ever been to Wakanda?
Yes.
Do you like the movie The Black Panther?
Yes.
Is the actor Chadwick your favorite actor?
Yes.
In the last 30 days, have you used the internet to meet other women?
No.
Do you fantasize about other women while kissing Nikki?
No.
While being intimate with Nikki, are you fantasizing about other women?
No.
In the last 30 days, have you visited Wakanda?
Yes.
In the last 30 days, have you had unprotected relation with anyone other than Nikki?
No.
Are you cheating on Nikki?
No.
Okay, Nikki. Man, see, look how nervous she looked. Look how nervous she looked. Wow. Look at that. That's somebody who loves you so much.
That's why you're nervous. You don't trust me? Seriously?
I asked Mr. the Great Bawante questions. We just finished the test. Is there anything that you want to tell Nikki before I read the result?
She knows everything. She knows that I'll never cheat on her.
Great.
She knows I love her.
Okay, all right. First question I asked, is your name Booty Scratcher? He said no. Lie detector test determined that's a lie. I'm going to tell you why. Because he was extremely nervous, and I was trying to break the ice. Unless your name is Booty Scratcher. No, okay.
That's not my name.
Okay, I'm just saying you failed that one. So it's because he was extremely nervous, right? I asked, is your name the Great Bwante? He says, yes. A lot of tests determine that is the truth. I asked, is your name Bwante? He says, yes. A lot of tests determine that was a lie. And the reason why is because you told me your name is the Great Bwante, not just Bwante. So this test is extremely accurate, especially after I do the silly questions. It gets back accurate. My wife thought of this. It's perfect, baby. Mwah! It's a perfect way to do it.
That's my name too.
All right.
Talking about.
Hey, everything is yelling. I don't know why you're yelling at me.
What's going on here?
I'm trying to tell you what's going on. If you allow me to finish the test, homie. Everything is yelling. Yeah, Jiva, y'all want you standing by the wall. Okay, what do you want me to do? I want you to stand on the desk. Oh my goodness. Jiva, stand on the desk. Is that good? You look like you the great Jiva. Oh, you are the great Jiva. This is the great Jiva. That's the great Jiva. That's the great Jiva. There we go. I'm doing this because you're acting silly, man. This is why we acting silly. I asked him, is he having a bad hair day? He says no. Not to take the test determined that is the truth. By the way, I love your hair. I love your hair. I asked him. I had to keep breaking the ice because I'm getting readings and I mess up. I asked him, have you ever been to Wakanda? He says, yes. A lot of tests determine that's a lie. That's a made-up place. Really? That's a Wakanda. Oh, God. Don't you know what you know, but Wakanda is not real. Is Wakanda real?
It is not real.
Wakanda is not real.
It's fiction.
Okay? It's 100% fiction. Okay. You haven't been to Wakanda, bro. Wakanda's a made-up place. That's how I know how accurate my test is. Then let's get into the serious stuff. I asked you, when you're kissing Nikki, are you thinking of another woman?
That's no. You know that, baby. How would I ever do that to you, baby? Look at me, look at me.
He says,
how would I ever do that to you, baby?
Well, you
know me well. Listen to what this man is talking about.
I'm trying to talk with you. You're not even letting somebody else talk for once. He says no. Is he thinking of someone else while he's kissing you? A lot of tests determine that's the truth, that he is not. If you allow me to finish, just let me finish. However, I did ask him, this is just kind of a diversion. That's why we acting silly too. Just to show this cat right here.
Yeah. I feel like I'm dreaming right now.
Well, you are. You're sitting in the presence of the great Jifa. That's why you're dreaming right now.
Tell me I'm dreaming.
I asked him, listen, when he's having a relation with you, intimacy, is he thinking of another woman? He says no. However, lie detector test determined that was a lie.
Really? Really?
Who you
there? Other women now?
Do you believe this?
Yes, now you're talking about women?
This is just a machine, babe.
Really?
You know my heart. You know me. We've been together for so long.
You want no more? You want no more? You want no more?
What are you doing? Are you doing this to me?
I'm not doing it. Yeah, you don't know me, but I feel like I know you though because I've seen this act before. I've seen people cheat before. I do this, brother. I'm a vet.
Look at me, man. You know me well. You know me.
I asked him.
You know me well.
He's trying to divert you from my questions. If you notice that, if you stay focused to Uncle D, he does that all the time. That's what it is.
Remember,
this is his normal behavior like this.
We have invested a lot of time in this relationship.
Oh, I already know what you're doing with her. I can kind of see what's going on with that, homie. I already know what's going on, but she want to know if she's the only one. Obviously, I already peeped out this game right here, homie. Have we, Jifa?
What kind of game are you talking about?
I made the slick shoes, the fur, the hat, and then the dime piece right there. Okay. All right. I asked him a straight up cheater question. I asked him, in the last 30 days, has he had unprotected relation with anyone other than Nikki, than you? That is a straight up cheater question. He says no. A lot of test determine that's a lie. It's a lie. That's a lie.
No, you don't have to believe that.
Oh yeah.
That's not
It's a lie.
No, that's not true. No, it's not. Listen to me then. That's not true. That's just a machine. That's not true. It's cool. It's okay. That's not true, babe. I know. You know me all, baby. You know me all. No. Don't do this to me. No. We've been together for so long. That's just a machine.
Why don't you tell her?
That's a lie, babe.
Why don't you tell her the truth?
I'll never do that doing this to me. That's just a machine, babe.
Okay, so
you can't even feel my heart. Just stop. That's just a machine. You just why are you doing this to me? Do I know you?
Why am I? What do you mean?
Why are you doing this to me?
Jifa, get this cat out my face, Jifa.
You're doing this to
Jifa, get this cat out my face.
Why are you doing this?
Get this cat out my face.
Hey, listen to me. Why are you doing this to me? Listen to me. What? You might want to chill out, bro. I'm giving you one chance. I can't take you serious, but just for what? In folks' face. You trying to ruin our relationship instead of giving me a chance? Bro, basically it's over already.
Let me tell you this. Not only does she come over here by me, come by me, come on, Uncle D. Come right here. Stand here. Look at me. Let me tell you this.
Chill out.
He's trying to divert your attention from this. Not only did she hire me for this lie detector test, but she hired me to follow you around.
Seriously?
Me and my team, my wife, Jifa, we followed you around.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Am I dreaming?
Go ahead, Jifa.
Am I dreaming? So you don't trust me, right? You don't trust me. Yes, obviously. Why did you fall in love with me, son, if you don't trust me? Why? You showed me different in the beginning. Why did you fall in love with me? All the extra stuff you mean. The perfume you know out the water for you. I've been on wild minutes.
Hey, Lisa, remember I told you I had some information? That's his girlfriend. That's what you make his girlfriend. Hey, I've been catching her with him. I've been catching him with her. Yeah. You know who she is. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. Oh yeah, I did do this.
No.
Bought this for you. You say you want to do it like a chinchilla, right? You say you want to do it like a
Got him. Fleece. Yeah, they on their Jerry. Yeah, we just pumping the volume. Putting together some more of that Ron B. Stinger Savage work. Oh yeah, we're gonna have fun. I'm just pumping my own time here. Yeah, just knocking it out. Just turned 3. That's good. That's good. That's excellent. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get this other picture. Fix up everything. Huh? Nah, please, just taking it easy right now. Until later. Okay. We'll just fix it up. I don't think they're even gonna see all that. Nah, they're not gonna see all that. Let me see if I can put in a design or something in the element. Trying to make this epic. All right, so maybe. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we're working this thing out. Okay, I guess you hit templates, right? I think we getting catching. Hang on to this. But I need the All right, let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. I'm gonna do the elements. Then we're gonna do the small print. Now that ain't it. All right, so let's go back to the project we had. Maybe this will work out for the jump off for Ron Savage. Okay. Let's go back here. All right, so I have some more BAM joints up here. I got it now. All right, so let's work this one. This one seems a little funny. All right, so look, we're gonna do it. We're gonna put it out there. Yeah, we're gonna troll him because he getting 40, 60,000. They hitting him with mad cash apps. We hungry. So we not hating on nobody. We want something to eat too. So we want our just do. We going over there, man. How many people we got? 200 people. It's all right. It's just a Saturday. I was just chilling anyway. You know. All right. All right. So we got a little work here. We can put this one in. All right. 3 more minutes. Let me slap this. Yeah, this one funny. This one good here. Yeah, we're gonna work. See, he just stole my thing pertaining to the guy who had body parts inside the thing. I'm gonna have to come get you. Brian Phibbs. I'm gonna have to come get you. Keefe D. I saw Biggie the night before he was killed. 20 seconds. Discretion TV. I might have to come get you too. You owe me some money. You wait till I do 3 hours of the show to conjure up your energy to steal my work. Now we got Gene talking. Notorious Big died 27 years ago. Where were you? I was there. Okay, Gene holding it down. Big Gene.
It's always difficult, even before March 9th. Sometimes it's difficult just listening to Big's music, knowing that you were there when he lost his life. Like a lot of people, they'll come on here, they'll get the big numbers and the big views, and they'll give their opinion, but they wasn't there. They couldn't tell you what Big said. They couldn't tell you what Big did. They couldn't tell you the atmosphere or none of that. They can only make up what they they think or what they appeared to what happened. Somebody said Jazzy Jeff is doing a set on Big today, right now. He probably felt a sense of peace and calmness in that moment. So sad. I'm listening to Big now. That's coming from 313 Evans. Yes. Everybody's doing a tribute. Is Puff doing a tribute on Big?
Nope.
Today?
I got my Coogee shirt on. I did my tribute for 3 hours for Big. And I found Gene, thanks to Gotti. Just hit me with that 19 minutes ago. So he started 19 minutes ago, 26 minutes ago. I've been on the show for 3 hours.
Thanks for the super sticker. Skrilla, what up with you?
You heard? So who did it first, y'all? We did, right? Together, my 200 people in the building.
Yeah. Clark Kent and Kirk Burroughs already solidified that. James Davis. I never thought that somebody else would be speaking on it. I really didn't care what somebody else did, James. You know, I knew that the lies had to stop. The deception had to stop. And only the people with common sense would look at it and say, what I've been doing is right. That when you piece everything that I said and with the knowledge and what you know, I did nothing wrong.
No, you didn't, Gene. You did everything right by exposing those lollipoppins. That was out here, Mary Poppins, and our boy out there.
Yeah.
27 years. You lost big.
He had talked Big out of not going to London. But Big was still trying to go to London. Because why would he ask Clark Kent? Like Clark Kent said, why would he ask Clark Kent to
We working them. I don't care what time it is.
Thank you for that cash out, Mama. Appreciate you.
MS, thank you for the cash out.
Let let me get this right. If Big wasn't going to London, why would he tell Clark Kent the night that he died, I want you to go to London with me tomorrow? He may have missed the first flight, but he wasn't going to miss a second flight or whatever. Like, he may have went later or whatever like that. But he asked Clark Kent, a record executive, to go with him, who also was a DJ. Yeah, they brought that to my attention too about the stickers on the truck. That was crazy to me.
I mean, they target Big with the stickers on the truck.
Chris Collins. I still couldn't take, because you got to realize is that for them to put those stickers on that truck, those truck was rented. They defacing the property.
Yep.
They're defacing that property, and somebody got to pay for that. People are piling in, man. So I'm gonna tell you the two best times I had with Big. One was at Howard University. Was anybody on my channel at Howard University at the time that Big did that show down there? Do anybody remember Big at Howard University? I don't even know. That was me and Big at Howard University. You bought the koozie dress because of Big? Yeah. she bought the coochie dress because of Big. Yo, that's the day. It was the day. It was on my birthday, actually. And D-Rock birthday was the next day. I think D-Rock birthday is October the 17th. And mine is the 16th. If I'm not mistaken, that was on a weekend. And they had the clothing store down that closed up. And I got like 5 outfits, and D-Rock got like 5 outfits, and then Puff brought like the immediate people a shirt and a pant set that they wanted. The other time I had a good time with him, we were in Cleveland. Big used to always try to like snap on me. He wanted to talk shit and how he was going to get people to rob me. Yo, G, you keep wearing that jewelry, man. I'm going to have niggas rob you. We're going to do it Brooklyn style. I don't know you Manhattan niggas. Nigga, I ain't from Manhattan. I ain't from Harlem. I'm from the Lou. It's a different breed. Let them come on. We was in Cleveland. And in the little season, we had been snapping, talking all kinds of shit. And this nigga about to go on stage, and Puff, I think we had got death threats or something. But Puff told me to go on stage with Big. Puff was telling me to go on stage with Big. I said, all right, then I'll go on stage with Big. Him and Lil C's was in the corridor, and they were doing the kid and play dance. You know, like when they was like making each other legs and they go back, they was like this, and then they started jumping around like that. I was like, yo, this fat motherfucker could move. So then, you know, my favorite song came on Big, and that was Warning. That's crazy. My favorite song of Big came on Warning. Monique Irvin is in the house, y'all. This is Big's day, man. All the moderators get posted, not all the members get posted first. All right? Hold your own out there in NYC. Appreciate you. So they doing that Biggie dance. I'm laughing. I mean, they doing that kid and play dance. I'm laughing at this nigga. He
doing the Biggie
dance. It was in Cincinnati or Cleveland. I don't know if it was Cleveland or Cincinnati. It was one of them. But they were doing that dance. So I'm looking at this motherfucker. So I'm already up in the corridor before he come out. And I told this story. Big is like, and they playing. Yo, he was just going, Yo, the crowd was going crazy. And then that nigga just burst past me. He went past me fast as a motherfucker. He was like, he came on the stage. Who the fuck is this? Paging me at 5. Yo, that motherfucking energy from the crowd said, whoom, to the stage. And I was like, that shit hit me. And I was like, yo, that motherfucker is a star. He's a star. That's what, yo, because I never looked at or seen Big or looked at Big in that way.
The energy is real.
And I had been on stage with him before, but I never looked at him that way Like, yo, this nigga's a real star and everything like that. Oh. Right here. That's a better picture. That was at Howard. Check this out. You're not going to be able to see it. Look, that's the night he got killed. Look at that smile on that boy's face. Look at the smile on that kid's face, man.
That's a smile. I made it. I'm happy.
Around all them Judases.
Damn. All them Judases.
You can't even really tell it's me unless you really look at it. This is let me see where I can see myself. That's me right there, y'all. You see that?
I believe you,
That's
Jay.
big on stage. This is another situation Puff told me to keep my eye on him.
Terrible.
That was big performing. That's me right there.
You had the biggest smile, man. $1 million smile. Them Judases, them snakes.
That was at his platinum party right there. That's me right there. That's the Slim Gene.
Damn, big. Hurt. Took Big out 27 years ago, man. AIP Big.
Karen, I'll get that book out to you. Thank you for the cash out for the book. You'll get it. I'll get it out to you Monday. No, I'm going to a funeral Monday. I'll get it out to you. Well, I'll write it up and I'll just do it. I'll do it. I'll get it out to you. Thank you for that. Since Karen just bought a book, we're going to talk about this, man. Great read. If you want a signed autograph copy, send $50 to Big Gene 52 Cash App or PayPal, and we'll get it right out to you. This box is going mad slow. I don't know why. They don't love me like they used to. This box is going mad slow. Where I'm at?
Excellent read.
1, 2, 3.
You ain't want to take that dip.
18. I got 24 books. We need to get on top of that. Hello? Oh, yeah. Anthony said all you got to do is I sent you the all right. I don't know. Maybe I hope I do the right thing. What I supposed to push? Hold on. Yeah, I'm on right now. Hold on. Trying to see. Let's see right there. You backstage. I'm trying to get Miss Pleasant from backstage. Anybody know how I could do that? Hold on. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to do. Nick, I'm doing a show right now. I'll call to you later. Hold on. Let me call Anthony and see how I can get you from backstage. All right. Call Aunt Jones. Hey, Libra Queen. Libra Queen is here. Reggie Roberts. What up, Reggie? Yo, Aunt. Aunt. How do I get her from backstage, man? Okay.
Emma. She's not in there yet.
She said she's backstage waiting and only the host can bring you in.
Nah, you see once she comes in, once she logs in, her box will come up next to where your box is down there, where it says
Call her and tell her, man. Call and get in touch with her. All right? Later. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, y'all. Trying to get Miss Pleasant in. She can tell you the story that night when Big got shot. I called her prior to Big dying because I was calling the block. That's when we used to have payphones on every block in Harlem. B-World, I'm trying to get your wifey, brother. And the Bible said bad tree can't bear good fruit. Damn, B-World. James Davis got a crush on your wifey. Damn. Trying to get her in here. Big had already did his record deal, so he was finished with Bad Boy Records. I'm just waiting till Miss Pleasant get on here, and then I'm gonna start taking calls and everything after she tell her little story.
Okay, he's waiting. We just grinding it out. Talking with Big Gene. That was good. Everybody step down. We be back around. We gonna put that work in. We gonna hit that town again. Doomatism.